Good afternoon everyone, we're back again for session 2 of the day. You're going to be joining the same match that you were on this morning, and your commentators will be Jenny and Chris Clark. Welcome back.
Right, good afternoon. I'm Chris Clark. I'm joined by my wife Jenny, and we're going to be commentating on this second game between Jane Stevens and Helena Fenson. Should be some interesting games later on in the day, which we'll try and bring you coverage of on the show lawn, because today is playoff day, isn't it, Jenny?
Yep. So this game's a fairly interesting one. So Jane's one up. Jane's on 3 wins at the moment, so she's almost certainly qualified. I think she has qualified. Helena's on 1 win. If Helena wins and another game goes her way, then she'll get a playoff. So she's not in good nick, but still has a chance of coming through.
And there's a few people around the courts in similar positions. They're hoping that they win and they're hoping results go their way. So this day 4, always an interesting day. Last rounds of the matches, and the manager's doing a bit of catch up as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I think there were a couple of matches that didn't go on.
So probably just a couple of hours behind schedule with those matches going on, and then once all these matches are completed, then we'll be getting playoff games.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to that. So Jane took the first game, and Helena's going to be starting game 2 with blue heading over to hoop 1. How would you describe the lawns today? They've taken quite a lot of water over the last 4 or 5 days, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they're a lovely pace, to be honest. They're not that quick. What do you reckon, about 10.5 seconds maybe?
Okay, and they're rolling very true, aren't they? Quite smooth, not too many bobbles.
They are, yeah. They're just lovely to play on. They're in lovely condition. Yeah, there's a few gentle swales, but this is a treat to play on lawns of this quality.
And Jane had a wander over to see whether blue can run this hoop, and I think it's more one that you're hoping to jaws.
Yeah.
So I think she can afford to put red into a jumping position without needing to shoot twice at blue.
Yeah, blue's not straight enough to want to have 2 goes out. I'm not even sure that you'd necessarily have 1 go at it, would you?
Possibly not. I think too many people go too deep here. I think if you go 5 yards deep, it's just too deep. You want to be in a position where if blue either draws it or just nudges in front, you're in comfortable jumping range, and you almost want to force blue to clear your ball south.
Yeah, you've got to avoid taking 100% the statement, if the first player goes in, you go deep.
That's it.
That's often good advice, but not always.
Lovely shot with black. That's where you want the first ball.
Oh, that's a cracking shot.
And I would still just play in with yellow and accept that unless blue plays a really good snuggle up to red, you're probably going to get a 6-yard clearance at black.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the most likely result is she's just going to try and hit red in the middle, and the further she can get away is corner 1, which is a lot closer than corner 4 here. It does look like she's lining this up for a shot though. Haven't really seen that many players play snuggles. I mean, you have to play them accurately, but it's a very powerful shot if you get it right.
And the lawns are almost ideal for playing them. So they're this mid-pace, so they're not just going to roll on like they might on a fast lawn.
Yeah.
And they're also nice and smooth, so you can almost guarantee it's going to go on a pretty good line. But yeah, she's just a clearance.
She might have got the block with the clearance though, which would be pretty cunning.
Yeah, carefully marking where that red goes off, and blue could easily be in between, which would force red to have a go at the hoop, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I don't think blue can be blocking both of them, so she has at least got that option.
I think it's open on the western side.
This is this horribly awkward position where you have to bring the ball in because of that back barrier, and also because the ground's a little bit uneven for your feet. But it's always really uncomfortable doing that if a ball's critical. Obviously everyone's taking their very best care to move balls in, but I think it needs to come in at least a foot here. I think Jane's got a fairly big backswing as well.
I think Helena's mentioning that probably had it been moved, it really should have been a referee doing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, always when the ball's a bit marginal, you can get a referee to move it in for you, or just avoid any potential problems.
Yeah, in my match with Debbie, she asked if she could move one in, and I really appreciated being asked and was absolutely fine with it, because normally I just go with you can move a ball in if you need to, but it's good when it's critical to either ask your opponent or get a referee in. I think in Debbie's case she could see half a ball and I was comfortable with her moving it. She's very careful. But yeah, just hoofing a ball in a foot can be awkward sometimes.
Always a go at the hoop. Not just missed, but it's gone offside. I was thinking if maybe you have a go at the hoop, maybe you just hit it at 8 yard extra pace.
Yeah, I mean you could still hit it with reasonable pace to get through the hoop, but not going past that line of the peg. Now this is quite a big disadvantage.
So immediately asks the opponent where they want the red, and Helena said, yep, off to that east penalty spot. No need to move it straight away, is there?
No.
As long as you've agreed where it's going.
It's interesting, it really is a good idea to ask your opponent where you want it moved, because very often you see people that wait until the other 3 balls have been played and say, where do you want it? And that means in this case the player of blue and black could have a look at the actual position of the balls right now and make a much more informed decision. So ask early, and then as long as it's not in the way, you can move it when it's that time for that ball to play.
So going back to Helena's hoop 1 shot, one of the things I've been talking about this tournament is when you've got an easy straightforward hoop, I want you to run it as close to the next hoop as you can. And black's still in the southern half of the lawn.
Yeah.
And everyone at home, if there's one thing you want to work on, it's just put your ball 2 or 3 feet straight in front of the hoop and run it by 15 to 18 yards.
Absolutely, it's frustrating sometimes watching someone, especially if you're watching someone that you're supporting, when they don't take advantage of those even hoops. As the opponent, it's quite nice to know they're not going to run it to the next hoop. So if you get someone like Jamie, who we've just been talking to, she's got a lovely swing and quite a full swing, so her natural hoop stroke will go through by quite a few yards. And some of these people, a bit less of a backswing, a bit more of a prod. But you can just go home and just practice it and just get good at it.
Yep, that's attempted clearance on yellow. It wasn't far away, but now yellow's nicely in front and should be able to equalise.
And that lovely smooth swing is what we'd like to have seen running hoop 1.
Absolutely, and it would have made a big difference up at hoop 2.
Yeah.
Just about makes it. And I think that's got the bonus that black's approach to 3 is now going to be much more difficult. He's got the hoop and yellow in play, so he needs to play a good shot with the first ball, blue.
Yeah,
that's short.
Because yellow can just block black going anywhere. Well, sorry, yellow is blocking black, black will play first. We were talking yesterday with someone about Stephen Custance Baker's books, and also Ian Burridge's book often talk about using a ball to do 2 things.
Yep.
And here you see Jane, possibly inadvertently, or not fully intended, has managed to run the hoop, but also put that yellow as a blocker.
It's a very handy ball. She's now got slight favouritism at hoop 3.
Yeah. And it's a bit like that hoop 9 that I advocate for, maybe having a few practice shots at that. Getting in front of hoop 3, getting in front of hoop 9 are really important hoops. And you just don't want to be short on them. And that looks a bit short, is it?
That's pretty good.
That's a good shot.
That's a nice shot. 2 balls in front now for Jane, so she's got the advantage, and it should just be a matter of playing a whole load of good positional shots. Keep putting balls back in front and forcing, hopefully, an error out of Helena.
Some of the more powerful players would potentially look to rush clear black into corner 2. But I don't think the level that we're playing at and the lesser power that people are playing with, I don't really think that that's justified here.
But thinking forward in the tournament, by the time, if you get to the quarters, you're going to be clearing black almost every time there, aren't you?
Yes.
And expecting it to get at least to the hoop 2 area, possibly further.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to let black have a go at the hoop. Forget clearing yellow. I just don't want them to run the hoop.
That's a miss, and again it's gone offside.
But also equally, yeah, when you've got a ball north of you, when you're on one of these edge hoops, people, if they get a decent contact, can just smash you miles away. So yes, it would be looking to clear black so it doesn't have a clearance south, and so it's got a much longer shot to play.
And as we look forward to the knockout draw this evening, we've got 4 of the top seeds yet to drop a game.
Yes.
So Amani, Pauline,
Yep.
Rachel,
Yep.
and yourself.
Yes.
Number 1 seed Soha's just dropped the 1 game to an excellent performance from Diana Wilson. So I think she needs to be well in the conversation as well.
Oh yeah, Soha deserves a lot of respect. I don't think she's playing to the standard that she played last time, but the Egyptians tend to warm up a bit slowly as well.
They do. So if you were to pick 2 players other than yourself, as you think these are the 2 have got the best chance after the block stages, who would your 2 be?
I have to admit, I haven't seen Amani play much at all, and going largely by historical knowledge of Soha, because I think she's just playing to beat her opponents at the moment, I think Soha and Rachel.
And I would agree with that.
I do think Debbie Lyons needs a lot of respect. I think she's dropped maybe only 3 games, and they've all been 7-6. And obviously I had a lot of luck against her in one of the games, but Debbie's standard pace is a good sort of
shot.
Above medium pace. She's running her hoops well, so I feel she's pretty solid in all aspects. She had a cracking jump in our game yesterday. So yeah, she's dropped 3 games, all of them only 7-6.
So lovely clearance by Helena, and I think this is a hooper attempt from yellow. Decent effort, well worth having a go there. There wasn't anything better to do.
No, I'm not sure how straight that black is. I'm not sure it was really worth clearing red to have a go with black.
No, I agree. Trying to put blue into block red at black there and just overhit it. I think red will either play tight in on the basis black's quite a long way away, or just clear the black. I'd clear black here. Just try and get some neutrality back into the hoop. Red and yellow are a little bit of an underdog at the moment, but she's nudging in, and that's going to potentially allow black a shot at the hoop unless she gets the accuracy dead on here.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get this accuracy right, she's a bit far back for my liking.
That's short, I think.
Right.
I think this hoop shot's open.
I'd like to see her maybe a third of that distance to the hoop. Yeah, much closer.
No.
They haven't been that accurate running hoops in this match, so I think there's a benefit to just playing in close at the moment. I'm not sure what she's thinking about with yellow here. For me, every day it's just yellow popping in front of the hoop.
So you're not worried about the jump shot, and the reason behind that is we're looking at an Irish grip player again.
Yep.
Without too much power, might be able to jump from close range, but at 2.5 yards, you're not worried about that jump shot.
Not really concerned about it, no. I just wanted to not be able to run that hoop.
So that was an attempted snuggle, and overhit, I would suggest.
Yeah, like you say, the snuggle's definitely on these lawns because the balls will just sit there and that they'll go on a straight line. They're not going to hill a mile, and they are just going to sort of sit and sog into the other ball. I quite fancied just clearing her there, but yeah, if a snuggle works, then it's pretty devastating. There's nothing you can do.
And just red taking position here, trying to get between black and yellow.
Yeah.
Looks completely solid. Again, it's doing the two things with the one shot, isn't it? Red has to be in front, but if it gets the block as well, that's a bonus.
Yes. The only issue I have is that, as I say, the hoop running hasn't been that accurate so far, and I think she's given herself a bit of an angled hoop there. Hence black just kind of wandering in. Looks like her hoop's open, do you think?
The hoop may well be open. You've got a perfectly legitimate shot here of clearing black quite gently, trying to push it on top of blue. So that might block blue at red. She's taking a jump on here. This is surprisingly aggressive.
I think Jane's pretty reasonable at jumping, but it is very aggressive.
A long way back, and she's come down on top of the black. Again, lots of women don't have the power for 3-yard jump shots.
I think a lot of the women also stand too far forward on the ball. I know you need to stand forward, but I've noticed a lot of them standing with it almost between their ankles, which makes you a bit unbalanced. And so difficult.
That's indicating blue was wired from red, and I don't like going there.
No. It's defending against jawsing, but you can equally defend against jawsing by being in jumping position. And that's what you do when someone tries to go the other side of the hoop.
And we'll assume they're wired. Black should be trying to unwire the blue, and it's done the opposite. It's nudged it up hard against the wire, and now red should be in complete control of the hoop.
Yeah, she's in all sorts of trouble. I think at this stage I would possibly be going halfway. Although if blue goes into the back of the hoop, do you think that'd be a bit difficult to get through?
I'm not sure it can get in the back of the hoop from there. It really looks as if it's in the worst possible place.
Yeah, so yellow halfway would have been quite strong then.
Yeah.
But you can be made to look quite silly if you go halfway and then some disaster happens at your hoop.
Yeah, so a safe option here is red just runs the hoop. The better players are probably going to try and jump through the hoop and get over black and blue and get down towards hoop 4. It is slightly angled.
I think she's thinking about it though.
I don't think there's anything wrong with just going in the jaws here. Yellow could rush peel it. Black doesn't look like it can clear it.
Yeah, I mean she really is in quite a lot of strife there. Do you think it's a bit more angled than we're thinking and she's worried about the hoop?
I do, yeah. But equally, I don't think she needs to play back from it. The jaws looks quite playable. So going back to what we're talking about you were mentioning you fancy Sohar and Rachel as the top 2.
Yep.
You already know you're going to be in Sohar's half, don't you?
Yeah.
And on a coin toss, you might have Sohar, Rachel and yourself in the same half this evening.
Wonderful, and I've mentioned how I was impressed with Debbie Lyons, and she is definitely going to be in my quarter because of the way this format works.
Oh, right. So, good hoop shot. Just opted to make sure of it on the ground. Takes a 2-1 lead. I think it's probably nudged out to the side having hit blue, so I think red can get some way down to hoop 4. But yeah, it's definitely looking as if there might be a stronger half.
Yes.
If the coin toss puts Rachel up in that top half. So quite interesting. We'll be getting that done tonight at the barbecue we're going to be having. But yeah, obviously there's people like Pauline, unbeaten. Jamie, you've obviously mentioned, playing nice fluent croquet.
And Jamie's quite new to this event, so she's only just about to turn 23, so she's a youngster. Her confidence will just be growing with every match that she plays, and looking around and seeing how strong she actually is compared to a lot of her potential opponents. So she's I think, and I hope, going to just get stronger and stronger as the event goes.
Judith, obviously a past champion. I haven't seen anything yet to indicate she's going to be as strong as she was in Cairo when she won.
To be fair, at this stage of the event in Cairo, we hadn't seen anything that indicated that either.
That's true. She only struggled through the block stage then, didn't she?
Snuck through on a playoff, I think.
Yeah, so...
And got better and better. She was incredibly accurate in our game, like, taking wide position, clearing centrally. You just can't discount people, and this is again why I keep saying that I don't think block-based seeding is, so where you finish in your position in the block, is a good indicator. Judith could finish quite low in her block, but none of the top seeds want to play her first up, just because we know that she is a quality player who knows what she's doing.
Yeah, and that's quite a good shot with black. You might have thought the draws isn't very good, but blue's all over red, isn't it? Yellow's too far away to jump.
And blue's all over red and can get to hoop 5.
And I'd be probably thinking about either cutting it on the opposite side so not getting to hoop 5,
right,
or snuggling. You could just play a basic block.
Yep.
And when you play the block, you don't really want to have it central block. You want them to have to cut your half ball to get the double clearance.
Yeah, a lot of people play it too straight and just open up that double clearance, and I've done that a couple of times a bit carelessly, and it's if you get the double clearance, it's a massive improvement for the player who's done that shot.
So going for a double clearance there. The downside of that is if red misses black, yellow's in front of hoop 5.
Yeah, you do have to look to where you're clearing things to.
And it's on the side ball, isn't it? Because it's come off an opponent.
And in the context of this game, what's going to happen is that she'll get an easy first play to hoop 5. If you're playing in some of the later rounds and playing some of the more confident players, yellow's just going to run hoop 5.
Correct.
Now, Chris, I have a challenge for you.
Yep.
I would like you to explain a lot more coherently than I did earlier how the draw is determined.
Okay, so there's 8 blocks, A to H, and what we know is that blocks A, B, C and D are pre-drawn into certain sections. So block A and block D are both going to go into the top half of the draw, and block C is going to go in the third quarter and block B is going to go in the fourth quarter.
So you mean all the qualifiers from block A are in the top quarter?
Effectively, yes.
Okay.
So to get through to a quarter final, you normally have to beat all the people in your block again and another block. So that'll be to get to a semi-final, won't it? You have to do that.
Yep.
So the concept is to try and keep people as close to their original seeding as possible and make the draw as balanced as you can. The downside is you potentially end up playing people you've played in your block quite early in the knockout. Won't be in the first round,
Yep.
but it could easily be in the second round. So the block winners play the block fourths.
Yep.
And you're in block D, and you're going to play either block E or F, aren't you?
Yep, there'll be a coin toss to decide that.
Yeah, and you'll either play E4 or F4 in the first round knockout. And likewise, A1, who's Sohar, I think, she'll either play G4 or H4
Yep.
in the first round knockout. But yeah, all of that block A, A1, A2, A3 and A4 will end up in the same quarter of the draw.
Yep.
So there'll all be potential banana skins for you later on as well. And again, just to let people know, the last 32 and the last 16 are best of 3.
Yep.
And then from then on we go into best of 5s.
Yeah, the website, which was made fairly early on, had suggested the quarterfinals were best of 3, but actually the quarterfinals are the only round from the knockout that's played on that day, so they're best of 5s, aren't they?
Yeah, so we get quite a big day tomorrow where we go from 32 players all the way down to 8, assuming everything finishes on time.
Yes.
So yeah, you get rid of a lot of people, and it's a big day. And then we go into more slower best of 5s, a bit more time to find your way into a match.
Yes. The Open World Champs last year, there was a best of 5 between Robert Fulford and Reg Bamford, and how long did that take?
I think it was about 9.25 hours. So, constant positional play from Rob,
Yep.
constant mid-pace clearing from Reg, trying just to squeeze an error out,
Yep.
and it was a fascinating match to watch, wasn't it?
It was excellent to watch. It was long though. It was a very attritional match.
So Helena's done well, got back to 2-all, and this is one of the interesting positions in croquet. Yellow takes position at 5. Does blue take position or does blue shoot? And what I've been encouraging most of the women to do is clear with the first ball. The reason being it's closer than black, and secondly, if black hits, they don't have enough power to clear it off the lawn.
Yeah. And
So
you'll notice she didn't clear yellow very far, but what a cracking central clearance she played.
and another good clearance has put her back in the hoop, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you'd now say that Helena's mild favourite. It's pretty even though, but that's where these turning hoops are just so fascinating. You know, you can trade hoops for a bit, but when you go from an outside hoop to an inside hoop, and indeed from the inside back to the outside ones, there's just a shorter distance to clear. And it's a chance to play catch up if you need to.
We've got a helicopter overhead. I mentioned yesterday when the trains were going by, I always used to just stop because I like to hear the mallet hit the ball. So any little disruption like a train going by or a helicopter directly overhead, I'm just going to take 15-20 seconds off and allow myself to re-stalk the ball and actually hear the contact that's giving me constant feedback.
Yeah, it's funny that because the feedback happens as you play the shot, so it's almost as if it's not useful to get it, but I'm absolutely the same. I want to have the same sounds around me. I want to hear the sound of the contact.
Yeah. Red playing back in there, trying to do two things, trying to get wild from black, but also block blue's hoop shot. I think it's finished short on both of those.
I think it's a bit short, yeah. I was going to say I'd expect to see black take position and blue clear, but it looks like we're going to be clearing here.
Yeah, I think this is a good choice. It's going a good direction, so even if you were to miss it, unless you hit blue, I was going to say black's not in a dreadful position. So having cleared partner ball effectively, yellow will just be trying to play in. And again, two choices. It can try and play between blue and red and try and block.
Yep.
Or I might just try and put an even better ball in, even tighter.
Yeah, I think you've got the option to play between black and the hoop. So it's a position where you're not going to block red's shot unless you play it too hard, and you give black nothing to do.
And yeah, that's what she's tried to do. She tried to block black's hoop.
But almost you'd be thinking maybe we should have blocked blue's hoop. Blue's sitting there going, I'm so far behind in this, I've got to look at the hoop.
Not quite.
That was a clearance on red, I think.
Yep.
A lot of the Egyptian players would be having a crack at the hoop there, I think. And
this is one where I'm quite interested in jawsing it. Black's too far back to jump.
Yep.
Blue's a million miles away. If I jaws it, I'm probably going to win 5 and 6.
Yeah, and given that they don't have the power to run this hoop powerfully, they're not going to get up to 6 running the hoop. I think sticking the jaws is pretty good.
Well, I think Jane does have the power.
Okay. Well, blue's offside, so that's a nice advantage as well.
Yeah, again, I thought she could have hit it harder.
Yeah, you're right, she does actually have that power for that. You see, she's directed it to the western penalty spot.
Which is the correct spot to go to. People might say, well, look, they're both the same distance away from hoop 6. Why is the western one better?
Yeah, well, if your opponent... I'll quite often try and dribble up to a hoop and maybe run it, especially given where black is. If you're putting it on the west side, does mean if hoop 6 is run, you're a bit closer to that hoop, but you're clearing going to the other side of the lawn, which is the most likely outcome.
So yeah, I mean, if you put it on the eastern side and your opponent hits a good clearance, they can not only clear you, but they can get towards 7. So whereas if you put it on this western side, everything's going away from 7.
Yeah.
So that's generally a couple of good reasons for that choice.
Yeah, I mean, even if they run 6, you're quite a long way and a bit of an angle for hoop 7. That clearance is quite important to go over there. One thing I spotted yesterday, which was a careless action from myself, if a ball's offside, you do need to stop and think before you make that decision, and think carefully. In this case, it's generally always the western boundary. I got someone to move to the west boundary yesterday, but hadn't really looked at the fact that I'd probably run hoop 5 to a spot that was wired from where the ball was sitting at the time. And it's another reason to get them to direct you before you've let them play a shot. Ask them where to go, because otherwise they might be able to play a shot and then go, oh, if I leave you there, you're wired, or be able to get some sort of advantage. So make them direct you before anything else is played.
So black had a go. It's finished just in the front of the jaws. If red were confident of jumping, you could just clear blue now, couldn't you?
Yeah.
If you're not, you should just get rid of black straight away.
Yeah, trouble is you get rid of black and blue pops itself into the hoop.
Yep. So it's all about how good a position red is in. And this is why I say, even when you're just taking position, you want every time to be in a position where you think you're in good jumping range. And what will you do here, Jenny?
To be honest, I think I'll probably just dribble up to red. You can try and rush peel it. I think you'd have to have quite a good look at... Oh, it's a cracking shot. You'd have to have quite a good look at, is red in a position to clear black? She is actually on quite an angle.
I think this is jumping. Yeah,
Certainly jumping now that black's been nudged more into the jaws. She might have been looking at clearing it earlier.
And Jane's okay at jumping.
What was your favoured blue doing?
I would have simply taken hoop position.
Okay.
Just in case that jump shot went flat and somehow managed to move black out of the jaws. It probably wouldn't have moved black very far, and then I could have cleared yellow.
Right. Now you notice that Helena did then deliberately run that hoop, blocking red on getting to hoop 7.
Tried to, just underhit it.
Maybe a bit short, yeah. But it's good that she's thinking about that rather than just nudging it through, grabbing a point.
So quite competitive, 3-all.
Very nice shot.
And again, you take position at 7, your miss is long,
Yep.
rather than short. And yellow being an extra 12 inches there is fine, but 12 inches short could have been a really weak position to finish in.
Yeah, and this is the hoop that you're taking control of. You've lost the previous hoop. Make sure you're on top of this hoop. You've gone far enough.
And blue was a nothing ball to me. It wasn't a clear, because it wasn't hit hard enough, and it wasn't a ball threatening to jump over yellow if yellow sticks in the middle of the hoop.
Yeah, it's just not threatening to do anything. If yellow fails the hoop, it's going to clear something. It's not threatening to run.
Equally importantly, having gone long, now if black clears yellow, yellow's got a shorter clearance on blue.
Yes, yeah, you're right. I actually fancied red just snuggling up to black there. I thought it was on a reasonable line and close enough to have a go at that. It's a lovely shot.
It's a good clearance, but yellow can take the positive clearance on blue if it wants.
Yep. I don't think you're advocating for that though, are you? What do you fancy? She's taking the hoop on.
So just having a little break so we're not interfering with the players' shot choices there.
Absolutely.
I didn't like that choice. I think blue's got a chance of winning off.
I just wanted to take good hoop position.
Yeah. Again, as we move through the tournament, yellow will clear blue hard, won't it?
Yes.
But at this stage, I didn't think it was necessary. I am tempted with blue at yellow, though.
I think blue at yellow had a very good chance of running the hoop or leaving itself in the middle of the hoop.
Yeah, just sort of 3/4 ball contact on that yellow. Looked pretty good for nestling into the jaws.
Yeah.
And now Black has to hit a 7-yarder.
Which, to be fair, may nestle into the jaws.
I'd be really surprised if Black finishes in the jaws here.
Yeah, you'd have to get a perfect contact.
Okay, so I'll go back and I say I think that was a bad shot choice with blue, the shot before.
That was clearing red, yes.
Lots of good things could happen clearing yellow, and you basically force yourself to hit a 7-yarder there, which even if you hit, you're still underdog.
Yeah, well, we're sort of going back to one of your strong principles of clearing the ball that's just played in as well.
Yeah.
Now it's got a whole rotation before it gets back in play.
So angle this, it's not guaranteed to go through. And she nudged nicely in the jaws. And again, Black and blue aren't in position, are they?
No.
That's the right choice of shot.
And this is surrender, which perfectly reasonable to go here. What you're trying to do is make it so that yellow will hit you when you run the hoop.
And lots of club players find themselves in this position, and they hit red onto yellow and knock it through for a point.
Yep.
And we go, oh no, that's awful.
Yeah, you can end up with red pinned on the wire, and it's a much more difficult shot.
Yeah, Black is not going to clear yellow, is it? So why not just send red halfway down to the next hoop and then run yellow either side of blue? You might not be able to get in front of the hoop, but you can get past blue and get down close to the next hoop.
Well, she's actually got this lovely position where she's more than halfway through the hoop, so she can in fact choose which side of blue she wants to play it.
Yeah, and red's been overhit, I think. it's gone offside. Oh, did you think that was off or on when she said that?
I think she might have said on.
On, okay.
I'm really not sure. She needs to run it though, with blue threatening there.
So Black quite rightly just gave up there. Wasn't worth shooting at yellow. Get a bit close to 8, and now probably going to squeeze past the left hand side of blue. And it's all about distance, isn't it, now?
Yeah. Just get there and control that hoop down at hoop 8.
Now, it's a bit short, but it's still a reasonable controlling ball.
It's absolutely right what you say, it's a bit short. I mean, it does give her a chance to go for the hoop, but that's not going to happen in the context of this match. And if you're further down, chances are you may get a clearance north, which means you can just smash a ball away a very long way. Oh, no, it is off.
And that makes a big difference, because the standard play here is blue takes position and then red takes position and black takes position and yellow then clears blue. But red taking position from the offside spot makes it so much more difficult to get good position. And that's a pretty decent shot Helena's played in with blue. Definitely runnable. Well inside yellow. And the more times you can get yellow to clear blue in that position, the more times you're going to end up randomly being rushed into the jaws or through the hoop.
Absolutely, and just getting that depth is really important.
Red's come in and it's a good 2-3 yards short. So being penalised for that bad positional shot. And this is another good length ball coming in from Black. Doesn't want to give a double clearance away or stymie blue.
Yes, I've probably gotten a bit of trouble. I've just realised we moved to a different stream, so we're not seeing comments because we're on the wrong stream. So we'll just go and find if anyone's chatting to us.
And this is sensible from Jane, just allowing some traffic to go behind her, take that 10-15 seconds off, come back, restalk the shot.
Yeah, it's funny, people will often complain that someone walks behind their shot, but unless they come out of the blue and you didn't see them coming, you've generally got the chance to actually stop and go, I'll just wait. There's no need to let someone put you off if they haven't come as a surprise.
I'll have to go and cut and paste that when I get the clip later tonight and play it back to you a few times in the future.
I'm much better at stopping and waiting. Okay, we're back online. If anyone does want to talk to us, we are actually seeing the chat, and we will.
Nice little
answer
nudge
questions.
from Helena there. Got blue into the jaws, and I think it's a tough clearance for yellow, and I don't think red can do anything about it. This is a position where I'm considering giving up, but I need to make sure that red and yellow are in a position to clear blue.
Yep.
Or jump over blue, because I don't want black to be able to get to a position where it can rush peel it from the opposite side, the western side, by playing another rotation of blue staying in the hoop. So the other thing you need to be really careful about here is if you put red into clearing position behind the hoop, it needs to be at an angle. Explain why if red goes behind it's a problem.
Well, if red goes directly behind, you've got all sorts of options. You can run the hoop into red, so
Yeah.
red can't play to the hoop. It's sort of your main risk. You actually want to make sure that blue can't do these two things, run the hoop and absolutely jam onto you.
Yeah, because if blue jams onto red, the first ball that's going to get to hoop 9 is going to be black. So if you're putting a ball behind the hoop, you're always better putting, in this case, the yellow behind rather than the red.
I think she's going to go for the rush peel.
I think she is.
Nothing wrong with that.
And hopefully also rushed it through to maybe block yellow's approach to 9. I think she's overhit it for that.
But yeah, what you were saying before, it is really important, because if people just say, oh, well, I'm going to give up and go halfway, then very often you can just leave your ball in the jaws or maybe tap it to a bit of a tidier position and get yourself a position where you can do something to gain yourself an advantage towards the next hoop,
Yeah.
albeit a rush or a rush peel that comes off towards the next hoop.
Yeah. A good positional shot with yellow. Really important going to 9, isn't it? 4 all.
Yep, that's the hoop I'm really caring about. Really good competitive game, this one.
No level of dynamic power, though. I'm always looking and seeing, are the players actually capable of threatening the top seeds? And both of these players, you're probably thinking once they get a top seed, they're probably going to go out.
Yeah, and with all due respect, the players, they're playing nicely. They're taking some good position, but they're not trying to generate power. And we've seen a few missed or mishit shots.
And I think Jane can clear this almost off the lawn. So it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, that's a good shot. Nice control of the yellow, central ball contact, all the way to corner 1.
Yeah, I felt Jane's struggled a bit with that back ball control from time to time, but that was a really good shot. Now, one thing I've found, particularly myself, and I think there was a shot that Jane mishit a bit, sometimes when you're trying to hit the ball really hard, there's a tendency to not let the mallet naturally get to the top of its backswing. So when the mallet's still trying to go backwards, you're starting to force your hands forwards.
And what do we think should start the downswing?
Gravity.
Gravity. That is the number one thing. If gravity isn't starting the downswing, you're in all sorts of trouble. You need to have so much natural talent flowing through your body to overcome that you're going to be struggling to get consistency. So get to the top of the backswing. As soon as gravity starts the downswing, just help it along.
Yeah, I mean, you can naturally feel when you get to the top of your backswing, so you don't have to have that pause.
And a better hoop shot there.
Yeah.
Got it almost peg high. We'd still like that extra 5 yards though, wouldn't we?
Yeah, the extra 5 yards makes a big difference to whether you can clear this black or not. And for the people who play with a bit more power, potentially be in front of the hoop to run it. I think that black's probably a bit short as well. There's a lot of room between black and the hoop.
Yeah, always want to get inside black here. Constantly keep my opponent under pressure. And that applies at all levels. Playing in the major world team championships, I'm always trying to get right inside them.
Yeah, I mean, people focus on the glamour shots, the massive clearances, but what you can overlook is just the power of just putting your ball a foot in front of the hoop over and over. And I know that's something that you really value as a player.
Yeah, I'd often walk off having played a GC match and talk to people, and they said, "But you didn't do anything good there, Chris. You know, you didn't do very much clearing and long hoops. You just kept putting the ball in front." And I'd smile and say, "Yes." Only occasionally do you find someone who plays at a high enough level to force you to have to do all the good stuff.
Yeah, well, we used the Cowing performance analysis tool looking at the British Opens last year, and what we found is even Reg didn't hit those really, really long shots that often. You get remembered for the ones you do hit, but your percentage for clearing a really long shot is generally a lot lower than the percentage for just taking position well, and the more and more those good positional shots you can play, forcing the opponent to try and clear, it's a big advantage if you're the one taking position.
Yeah, the person clearing is normally the person losing.
Yeah, they're odds on to not hit things in the middle over and over.
So that's a good clearance, right in the middle, leaving partner in front, and now for the first time it looks like a genuine chance for a 2-point lead here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, good clearance back again.
Helena's hit some really nice clearances actually, many of them right in the middle as well.
So I expect red to take position, probably just a fraction on the opposite side to black, so black can't stun it away and maintain position.
Yeah, I know the mantra's position, but thinking about where you go. You know, if you go on the same side as black, black can stun it away, potentially staying in front of the hoop, and suddenly massive advantage swing.
And you wouldn't probably go 1 foot in front either, because you might leave a in off for black if you underhit it. So there's nothing wrong with going a yard back here.
Yeah, I fancy 2 or 3 feet back. Black's much more likely to lose position and not be able to control the back ball fully.
And that's good. That's where we wanted it, isn't it?
Yeah. I think she's also had a bit of a look at blue at yellow, but possibly discounted that, as she'd be less straight on the hoop. Blocking's great, but I want to have a hoop I can run.
Yeah, I like having a short hoop I can run. Yellow's a bit long. So you could decide to have a go at the hoop here on the basis that actually it's viable. There's nothing fantastic else to do. Blocking blue at red isn't easy. It's putting yellow too close to black, so maybe just have a pop at the hoop.
And given the relative power that they've been hitting these clearances with, even if blue hits red, I think red can just come back and have black anyway, so why not take your chance to score a point? Yeah, this is a bit where you have to be a bit thoughtful about a ball that you might think's a throwaway ball, because you're thinking, I reckon I'm going to have a go at my hoop with red.
Yeah.
But
I think we should also say that yellow just taking 2 foot straight position is fine here.
yeah, taking position's never wrong. Really wrong. Sometimes it is, obviously.
Yeah, and that's basically saying, look, if blue clears red, you're not clearing it far enough to worry me.
I think it's also saying I need to clear black with my next ball. She drooped a bit, so I think it's blocking red.
Oh, that's cleared the wrong ball. And now you would always clear the black here,
I'm clearing black here, yeah.
Black's going to go off the boundary and red's going to end up near 11, isn't it? And not only are you probably going to be 6-4 ahead, you're going to have a ball near 11.
Yeah. I know you risk black coming back and clearing yellow, but it's such a chance for an advantage.
I always find that even if red runs here, I think there's a genuine chance that this game's still going to go to 13.
Yeah, I certainly think that if you're running one of these odd numbers hoops, you've got a really good chance of getting to the next one. We've talked about the fact that these ladies aren't running the hoops with as much power as some of the higher ranked players, but they've also got the option of just popping into the jaws, and then they can play that shot down.
So here, more marginal decision. I think I would probably take position with yellow and clear with red. It's only about 2 yards difference in distance.
I'm quite fancying having a couple of goes just because of the quality of that positional shot with black.
I'm almost thinking the opposite, in that if I miss, black has a chance of getting in the jaws, whereas as long as I keep one ball there, they've potentially got to run it and finish 3 or 4 yards through, and I'm going to be favourite at 12.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm interested if they're going to think, if Helena's going to think to go into the jaws so that she can play down, or if she'll run it.
Yeah, you can't afford to run 11 by a few yards.
Yeah.
When you're 6-4 down. That's a good shot.
Lovely central clearance. I think blue can get into the jaws here.
Well, I think black will play back in front, and blue's pretty much dead, dead in front of the hoop.
Yeah, I think it's got a wee bit of an angle, but yeah, I do think blue's just got the jaws.
So red's quite close to the blocking yellow at blue. So I think this will be another ball in to position, making sure not to go too close to blue. And that's tried to block yellow again, and Jane's nodding her head. So I think that's no shot for yellow, and yellow will probably play onside in a position where it can clear any ball that jawses.
Yeah.
So Jane's asking Helena, does she want a referee to move the yellow in lawn because it's marginally wired?
Yeah.
And I would always ask a referee to do this unless I was playing one of my best mates.
Yeah, I generally try just not to move it, which is, it's not good. You know, I'm disadvantaging myself, but I do hate moving balls and potentially giving someone an advantage.
So Richard Brooks coming on, and he's going to do that. So one of the rules is that if there was a ball within 6 yards of yellow, you'd have to give the opponent the option of moving that the same distance.
Yep, if you're playing forcefully at it.
Yeah. But there's nothing within 6 yards here, so only one ball really to focus on.
It's also quite interesting if you're going for an angled shot, or for any shot that you're going for, you have to move the ball in line with where you're aiming.
The target. So one thing that Jane's going to have told Richard is I'm aiming at blue or black, or trying to get in between blue and the hoop might be an option. And as long as Richard moves it in that line, everything's good.
Yeah, when it's quite a narrow angle, you can end up moving the ball an incredibly long way in just to get a stance or get clear of an obstacle as well, particularly when there's that long grass behind you. We'll be okay for this game.
So now we'll get to see quite how straight this blue is. I think it's pretty straight, this gem, and I want Helena to at least get to the peg.
Oh, I want Helena to jaws it. But yeah, at least to the peg.
Oh, that's a great result.
Yep.
That was an attempt to run, I think.
Yeah.
But that is much better. I think red can get it out, but not very far.
Looks really difficult. And blue and black are all over the hoop. Now, interesting comment. Chris Barley says, I describe Chris's comment about the forward swing starting with gravity, and Chris said he describes it as allowing the mallet to fall. Absolutely agree with this. You also have to be careful though that you're still maintaining your grip on the mallet and you're not just allowing the mallet to sort of flop and to lose that control in the backswing.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So you still want to have reasonable control. You need to feel the mallet reach the top of its backswing. You're still holding it straight. But yes, you don't put any forward pressure on the mallet until you feel that it has fully stopped moving backwards. It's a fault actually a lot of Solomon grip players have, I've noticed, because they quite often have quite big backswings.
Yeah.
And they start just pushing the hands down and forward early.
Absolutely.
And I think if you're one of those people, probably watching some of the video of Jamie Gumbrell playing is good, because you can see that she's got lovely control and a lovely smooth period where she brings her hands forward and brings the mallet forward for the stroke.
So all this comes back to not putting the first ball into position. By red and yellow having been distant, Helena's been able to get to a position. I think she's going to try and flick off the red here, down to 12. She hasn't hit that very well. So she's just trying to fit the edge of that and flick off down to 12. But every time you 6-4 up, you need to do more to protect hoop 11.
Yep.
And letting an opponent who might not be able to run it by more than 4 or 5 yards get in the jaws and run it all the way down is a big error. So yellow just coming onside, and blue needs to. He's got two options here. If black's in the way, it could just come back and come wired.
Also, I'm not 100% sure, probably is, but if blue's not completely central on the hoop, again, you might choose to just pop it in the middle.
Yeah, the danger of doing that is red has a rush on yellow. So, providing I can run this between the peg and row and hoop 12, I'm going to run the hoop here. If I'm worried I'm going to run it into black, I might just nudge a couple of inches north.
Yeah, because if you just nudge a bit north, then they're not clearing you. That's one of the things about these hoops. They will not let a ball come in forcefully from an angle like that unless you hit it absolutely perfectly.
I think blue's deemed.
Wow.
The action seems to be with Jane.
Yep.
So it indicates it was in the middle.
It's in the middle, it's not fully in the jaws, so it's in a really quite powerful place there.
And I don't like that shot.
Not really sure what it's achieved.
I quite liked rushing yellow.
Well, rushing yellow closer, so it's threatening blue.
Yeah, or even north of the hoop.
Yep.
So if black clears it, well, black's going further away from 12 as well.
Well, yeah, rushing north of the hoop means that there's a chance that black will miss it as well, and you may get a chance at a jump. Ooh, it's a good effort.
Simply taking position with the red was viable as well. Anyway, Helena survived the extra bonus clearance she'd offered.
Yep.
And now she's run it all the way past the peg, and that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gone on a bit of an angle, but I think she's hit it really well there.
So it's 3 yards in front of 12. 6-5 down, but still every chance that this is going to go to 13.
Yeah, and I do think 13's a bit of a lottery. Now remember, with this lawn, approaching 13's uphill.
Absolutely.
And it hills towards the eastern boundary, so it hills towards that near boundary as well.
It's a good shot.
Remember the Opens last year? Rob played a cracking shot. I think he was playing up to the hoop, hilled an absolute mile and ran the hoop by a couple of inches.
Yeah, ran hoop 10 and finished 2 inches in front of 13.
And then we had one of the unluckiest shots I've seen for a while, which was Reg clearing him. It wasn't a particularly well played shot in that it hit very much the wrong side of the ball, but Rob got the full benefit from being 2 inches in front by being rush peeled.
Yeah.
And yeah, we saw on this lawn yesterday actually Noha being incredibly unlucky, clearing Maha from quite a long way, and Maha's ball quite a long way from the hoop. Rush peeled it to lose that middle game.
And I'm going to just play in here with yellow. Blue is going to clear red. but there's a danger of banging off red and clearing black.
Absolutely.
Or if you're worried about that, hitting it too far on the right and rush peeling it.
I know this is just fraud, yes. Normally you'd want to hit it sort of 3/4 ball. If you do that, you're clearing black. And given that red's a little bit north of black, you can't even get the bonus attempt of blue clearing, 1/4 ball on the outside and clearing it past the sort of near side of the hoop. So I think she's just going to have to try and hit the middle of this hard.
And she has moved black.
She's done well.
But I think it's still in front, isn't it?
I think it also might be wired from red. I think she might have got a fantastic outcome
I
there.
still think that's open. And she hasn't moved red as far as we would want either. We want that red off the boundary, don't we?
Yeah. Again, I think it felt like a bit of a forced swing. Probably came forward in the swing a bit too early.
And again, one of the issues with the Irish grip, actually getting the backswing as long as you want, because the wrists are coming back into your body.
Yeah.
Getting as long a backswing becomes more difficult with an Irish grip, and power is an issue.
And yet we see the Egyptians, most of them play with an Irish grip, but bent over in half.
I don't know what's being said to them. What I know is that Raya is.
And in fact, the Egyptians have been playing with Irish grips pretty much from when they started playing, and a lot of them started playing pretty young. So it's a sort of sport that we'd take people to play cricket and football, and the youngsters, a lot of them will play croquet as young players. So they have got very flexible wrists. They bend over a long way to give themselves a lot of room for their backswing.
Now we've got a major problem for Jane. Black's in the jaws.
Yep.
Blue has the chance to flick off red up to the northern half of the lawn, and you're almost forced into clearing either red or blue.
Yeah, I think I'm clearing blue here.
So am I. She's missed it. Now, can Helena play a really firm shot? Probably 1/3 ball?
Yep.
1/3 ball, and get up to hoop 6 area.
This is where you need to take a bit of a breath, bring your mallet back, nice full back swing, and be really aware of getting to the top of your backswing, because these are the ones that people rush.
And I'm going to play it with a stop shot, try and get the blue skidding,
Okay.
and get a really sharp angle off the red, so I get it moving 2 or 3 yards further to the eastern side of the lawn.
Don't you sometimes play them so that black goes in the air a bit as well? So that blue goes in the air a bit?
Only when playing straight.
Okay.
From that, I want my striker's ball skidding. I'm probably going to hit it 5 times harder than that, and just try and get that really sharp contact that springs my ball out to the eastern side of hoop 6 and maybe off the north boundary. So, great thing, blue's cleared red. Red isn't going to jump over black. Downside is blue could have been 10 yards closer to hoop 3.
Yeah.
Jane taking a sensible option and just going off the east boundary, south of the penalty spot. Black will now run the hoop because yellow is not in a good position. Just run it by. No need to do that.
She's just made her approach to 13 that much longer.
You run that by 4 feet. Make sure the hoop's out of play. You don't run it by 8 yards.
Now, I had a shot from the south boundary approaching 13 in the game that I played on this lawn.
First game of the tournament.
First game of the tournament, and I felt as soon as I made contact with it, I thought, goodness, I've hit this hard. So I hit it hard for me.
And it finished 2 feet dead straight in front of 13.
It was handy, but yeah, I mean, my point really is you do have to absolutely power this to get it up there.
So yeah, I'm probably playing this with 4.5 yards extra weight to what I think a natural shot needs.
Yep. And you can see Jane's coming from fairly straight here. It does hill quite a long way. You've got to aim, a couple of feet out from the hoop?
Yeah, I think that's a good estimate.
Because even if you end up on a bit of an angle, you want to be dominating this hoop. You've got to be north of it.
She struck it well. That's good.
Look, it's slowing up a lot.
Oh, that's
It's a
really good from
cracking
there.
shot.
Did it flick the wire at all?
I'm not sure. It's gone cast very close. I mean, it's going to have hilled that way a bit, but
from there, that's a good shot.
She really smashed that to get it up there too.
And this is just drifted past the far side, didn't it?
Past the far side. I don't think it's runnable. It's certainly jawsable though. Two pretty good shots, really.
His shot stopping decreased last season, but his distribution is so good, and so his stats.
Again here, this is not a nothing shot. Even if you're going to have a go at the hoop with yellow, you have to get past the hoop here.
This you want 1 yard in front and clear blue with yellow, don't you?
Yep.
That's a bit hard.
She absolutely drooped when she played it, and it's actually quite a creditable shot. It's dead in front, dead straight.
I'm going to be disappointed with that at that range. I'm probably going to want it to be a good yard closer.
Helena's she's again come the wrong side of the hoop.
It's drifted to that far side. Now, what's yellow going to do?
It's quite handy having black there. It's in the way of your feet, it's in your head. It is a little bit annoying having that black ball there.
So I think this is going to be clearing blue, but I'm not sure.
I'd expect so.
Yeah. So hit it in the middle. I don't think there's a lot in this as to who's winning it. Blue should take position, and if blue blocks red, black and blue are favourites.
She's short. It's that uphill approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, and blue just wanted to pop itself in front, put pressure on the shot. Still think we're only 65-35 here.
Oh, good shot.
Lovely shot.
Very good.
Well done. That's the match for Jane, confirming Jane into the knockout. I think she's pretty safe now. Unfortunately, that's Helena out and into the plate. But a really well played match there. It was a nice competitive game there. What would your advice be to these ladies for practice in the future, for moving forward to the next games in this event?
I mean, I know I have said it before, but those hoop strokes, they simply have to be able to run them and threaten to get through to the next hoop. Some of the positional play was quite good. Some of the clearing was okay. But once you've won a hoop and you're 2 foot in front, not being on the right half of the lawn, having run the hoop with no wire, is just not good enough.
Yeah, it won't be good enough for Jane in the next stages of the knockout. I think Helena will be pretty competitive in the plate. Yeah, she hit some lovely clearances in the middle, some good positional play.
Yep. But again, power. Can you, if you're going to clear a ball 5 yards, can you work on clearing it 8 yards?
Yeah, just stepping it up, just getting a little bit more each time. I noticed Lionel Tibble's arrived. I suspect he'll be giving Jane some advice as well.
Both Northampton club members, I believe.
I think so, yes.
Northampton just opened their new lawns at the new venue, so good luck to all those Northampton players going to be enjoying a new venue.
And I bet there's a lot of them watching, supporting Jane. That's what's so good about having the stream. You can actually watch what's going on, and follow your favourite players.
I think Glynis also probably a member at Northampton as well, and I think she's doing quite well.
She's done very well.
She's qualified for the knockout already, hasn't she?
It was just delightful, her reaction when she found out she qualified. She was really pleased, and she's earned it. So, Chris, I guess we're off soon, but just in case this is still going live, do you want to do a quick look around the lawns and let us know how these qualifiers are going?
Well, I think we're still no playoff games have started, so these are still the final round of the block stage.
We've got behind us Dallas Cook of New Zealand. She's in a bit of trouble. She needs to win this and then get a playoff. So she's playing Lynn Piercy, who's done really well. English qualifier, was she? She was,
English qualifier, yeah. Roehampton member.
Roehampton. So I think, I can't really see all the clips, I think that Dallas is maybe just in front in a very tight third. So if Dallas wins this, she'll get a playoff with somebody. Lynn's done brilliantly and is already through.
Yeah, it looks like she might be 5-4 ahead. 5-4 to Dallas.
So we're going to hand over to Debbie and Phil Eardley, and hopefully they can give you a bit of an update on some of the games. We might do a bit of a run round and write down some information for them.
That would be helpful.
Because there's a lot of these games are, will people qualify, will they need playoffs? So it's quite an exciting day, and then we'll have the playoffs as well.
Thanks very much, Jenny.
Croquet scores.
Welcome to Debbie and Phil.
Right. Okay, bear with us everyone whilst we get ourselves sat down and sorted. Okay. Right, I think they're very brave leaving me in charge of the laptop, quite honestly, folks. But we'll see whether I can
Better
work
than
out
having
how
me
it
in charge,
works.
isn't it?
Yeah. Right, so
So we find out what's happening on the other lawns then, because lawn 1 is...
lawn 1
we've
is
got
dormant.
to wait for them to... It's
Yeah.
dormant. We're waiting for Mike to decide which... We're hoping to get a playoff game on it.
Yeah, we'll
But
have to see.
there's some management going on to decide which game we might get to see.
Okay.
And then I'll have a warm-up, I expect, so we've probably got 10 minutes to see what's happening on the other lawns.
Yeah, right, well, it's not that easy to just sort of suddenly sit down and go, oh, this is what's happening.
It's not, is it?
No. So I think we might concentrate for a little while on
And the one behind.
the one behind, which we can see. So meanwhile though, Phil, tell me all about your GC experience.
It's pretty limited, my GC experience. I'm an AC player, really. So I'm looking forward to you telling me how it works this afternoon.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'm intending to ask stupid questions.
Yeah, well,
Well,
there's
what's
no
going on?
stupid questions.
There's no stupid questions in croquet world. There you
Well,
go.
yeah,
I think
I
that's
seem to
arguable,
remember
isn't
some
it?
boss telling me that years ago.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's not true, is it?
no, they definitely are stupid questions. But we won't go there.
But there are some questions that are more stupid than others.
Well, I've only been playing GC about 2 years, so I
Right.
think I've
But you're
fairly
quite good at it,
recently
aren't you?
been
Yeah.
asking all the stupid questions. So, yeah.
So you must be pleased in how you've done. You've gone
Yeah.
cruise through, haven't you? into
Yeah,
the
it's gone
knockout.
okay actually. I
Yeah.
mean, strangely, I seem to play a lot better against the better players
Right,
than I do against the weaker players,
right.
which is a little odd. So I had a match with Jenny yesterday, and I lost it, but I played.
You played well.
I was really pleased with how I played.
Right,
Whereas some of the other matches I've won, I've been like, wow, it's rubbish.
right,
So,
right.
Yeah.
You do enough,
yeah, I've done enough. But
or not?
I don't know
quite
whether it's
against
because
Jenny, but enough.
I think if you know you're playing somebody who's good and's going to clear you and run all the long hoops, then you've got no room.
You've got to
can't-
take your chance, haven't you,
Yeah.
when you get it?
You've got to up your game, because you can't just piddle up, you know, patsy around and yeah.
Whereas when they're not so good, you can just pat the ball in and you're going
Yeah.
to get 3 or 4 goes.
Yeah. So.
Oh, what have we got going on here
Oh,
on
they're
the launch?
measuring the height of
There's
the
actually
hoops.
there is some measuring of the height. So
Ah.
I don't think you'd ever get that in AC. I mean, I guess there's a minimum height of the hoop, isn't there? There would be in
Yeah, there
AC. I
is.
guess it's the same in
It's
GC.
12
isn't it?
inches or plus or minus something or other. I can't remember. I ought to know.
There's both a maximum and a minimum height, is there?
Yeah. And of course, I think these hoops have been in the same hoop holes for 2 or 3 days now. When on the first day they were quite proud,
Right.
and of course they've been bashing them in slowly a bit more every day. So
And I guess it's quite important in GC with lots of jump shots. So
yeah,
you
but
want your height, don't
I guess
you,
it
to
is
get
the
them
same
through?
for everybody though. You play the lawn you're given, don't you? But and I'm not quite sure why they're drawing attention to the fact that the hoops might be under height, because they're not going to put the new hoop holes at this point,
I
are
think
they?
I picked up that there was a complaint about on a different lawn about there not being enough height.
Right. Okay.
So maybe they're just
going around and
pre-emptying
checking.
it by checking a few.
Ah.
But yeah, well there you
Yeah.
go. So the golf
So-
croquet referee has to be equipped with a tape measure.
Yeah. Well, they'll
I don't know what you do about it if it was under height.
Well, ideally you'd have to pad it out. I suppose you'd take it out, stick some earth in,
And then it would be
and then it would be
a
fine.
poor hoop, would it?
Well,
Because it wouldn't be so firm, would it? I guess.
I guess they can pad it somehow. I don't know. Have you done much hoop setting?
But they've a little bit,
No.
but you don't. I mean, you
Not one
tend
of
to
my
use the
skills.
earth to narrow the hoop in rather than to make it go up a bit.
Yeah.
There's now 3 referees discussing, and
Well,
they've got the rule book out, so maybe
two
it is
referees
underhyped.
and the manager. So,
Oh, it is, isn't it?
so yeah, there's definitely
This doesn't
something
bode.
going on.
It doesn't bode well, does it?
Right. Well, so folks,
Let's find out what's
play
happening.
may
in the
be
other
delayed for a while. Right. So how do we find out what's happening? So behind us on lawn 5,
lawns. 5, which is
it's now gone to the 12th.
Judging by the shirt, that's
It's Lynn playing.
Lynn Piercy.
Lynn Piercy. So Lynn qualified and has been playing exceptionally well.
Oh, really? She qualified. Gosh.
She played in the qualifier,
Right.
and she's just getting better and better.
Oh,
So-
right, that's good.
And one of the other qualifiers, a lady called Liz Drury, who's only been playing for less than 2 years, had her first tournament earlier this year.
Right.
She's through to the knockout as well.
I saw her. She was on lawn 1 on Monday when I was helping with the filming.
Yeah.
You looked alright. Yeah. You
Yeah.
looked quite good.
Yeah, very capable. So, so really good results for 2 of the qualifiers. I'm not sure how the other 2 qualifiers have got on. We can have a look. Let's have a look.
Who were the other qualifiers?
Bev Cardo and Paz
Oh, the Spanish.
Paz the Spaniard.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paz, I can't remember your surname. So Philip's going to keep talking whilst I do some
You're gonna-
searching on the
I'm going
net
to try
here.
and see if you can get croquet scores to work on the computer.
Yeah. Yeah, easier said than done.
The referee and the manager continuing to have their intensive discussion.
Right, so
Like Town, the manager's not yet looking worried.
so Bev Cardo is probably in a playoff looking at this. Hold on, 6-3-3. No, Bev.
Can't see it, the sun's on it. You think she's out here?
Yeah, I think without spending too long looking at it, I suspect she can't go through on that, I think. Okay. And I'm really struggling to use this weird laptop. So I can't see what I'm doing in the sunshine. There we go. Would it be easier? Oh, it's easier without my sunglasses. Bear with me, folks.
Well, the good news is that the referee and managerial discussion has finished, and I take it that we're good to go because
Yeah,
they haven't as
decided
yet
to do
got a
anything.
bucket or anything to start redoing hoops, so I think we're probably
But-
safe.
Yeah, but so far we've still not got anybody warming up.
No, so we don't know who we've
So we
got.
still don't know who's coming to join us on Lawn 1, so we're just going to keep wittering on. And it's gone to 13 on Lawn 2, Lynn Piercy
Oh, has
and
it?
Dallas Cook. So this is all very exciting.
So what we could do, if I don't know if the
And that's one
if the
day
camera
more.
crew can switch the camera onto lawn 5 and see what's happening there.
I don't think they can, unfortunately.
You can just about get it. You can get this one on the roof.
The one on the roof. I
Good
don't know
point
if
that
anyone's
way.
manning the one on the roof at the moment.
It's the people in the control panel can switch that.
Ah.
So we've had all 4 balls played into 13.
And it looks at the minute as if red's just been rocated off to corner 2.
So blue,
Black may or may not have a runnable hoop. Yellow is on the boundary in front of the hoop.
so blue and black are looking good unless yellow can run that hoop, I guess.
Well,
from the
we
boundary, or-
can't see from here whether blue and black have runnable hoops or not.
Oh, I see. You might be a bit too
They
far
might
to
be
the
this
side,
way, I
yeah.
can't tell. So Phil, why don't you play GC then?
The AC's enough. I like the croquet shots really.
Yeah,
So I think that's a pleasure of them and a nice
That's-
break.
yeah,
Especially when it's nice and fast, challenging conditions.
yeah.
That's what I enjoy. And I think I just find the hitting every shot hit after hit after hit. I find it a bit boring, really.
Yeah, it's
I like
interesting
the variety
because
of switching from a hit to then a break. But
because somebody said to me the biggest thing that AC players get wrong when they start playing GC is they do too much hitting, too much clearing.
Not enough
Not
dribbling
enough
in front of the hoops.
taking position or blocking or all
Right.
that. And I have to say, I think I agree, because during the course of a game, yeah, there's lots of hitting, but it's not constant, and there is lots of other shots that you play.
So what fraction of the time do you reckon you hit rather than take position then?
It's probably only about 30%, 25-30%
Most
of
of the
shots.
time you're taking position then?
Yeah.
Right.
I reckon
Okay.
positional shots is well over 50% of the shots
Right.
you play.
Right.
So, not that I'm an
So
expert, folks. I'm sure
It
somebody's
is-
done all the
so
data
it's
on
the,
this.
it's the most important shot to get right then,
Yeah.
which is why you're quite good at it then, because you're good at from that
At AC.
exercise we did on that training day, you're very good at taking position. So.
So, yeah, I think that was a fluke. Did you not notice that I quit? So what Phil's referring to, folks, is he did an exercise on we had like a squad day, and we had a warm-up exercise beginning of the day when you start on one of the long boundaries and you have to hit a ball past the line of hoops 1 and hoop 2. So what's
No, I
that?
think we started on the peg and the centre hoops actually. But we start on them, maybe we didn't.
No, we
you're
did, it
right,
was
we
hoop
started
1.
on hoops, yeah.
So
So the far
yeah,
hoops,
so you're
basically.
hitting what's that? 17 yards, and then with the first ball has to go past that line of 1 and 2
But as little as possible.
by as little as possible, and then you put your second ball out, and that must go further than the first ball, and then your third ball must go further than that ball, and your fourth ball must go further than that ball. But of course you start running out of lawn because you're going to go off the lawn at the other end of the other side of the lawn.
So doing more than about 4 was difficult,
Yeah.
and you managed about
I
9
did-
or something
I
first
think
go,
it was
didn't you?
7 or 8 or something. So Alison Morm's come to say hello.
Hello.
Hello, Alison.
Only briefly, I've come to tell you. Do you know
Oh,
who you're watching?
no, well, this
Well,
is
we've got Susanna
Jessica, isn't it?
Romero and Jessica Bullen.
Yeah, and
Okay.
this is a playoff.
Right,
Ooh.
and is this,
Okay, so it's
what
a
is
big
this, what do you know what sort of playoff it is? What's the,
So
is
this
it
is
1
a
from
single
3, 2 from
game.
3?
Single game
Right.
playoff.
And then whoever wins goes on to play somebody.
Okay, we can probably find it
Oh,
out.
so it's
from-
not. So it's a 3-way playoff.
I think
It's a
so,
multi-way
yeah.
playoff.
Okay,
Right.
and
But that game won't be on this one.
right. So it's 3
Okay.
people for one space.
Well, we could look on the
Oh, if
Croquet
only
scores
I
to
could
find
look
out
on.
if you can
What
get
do
the
you know what
computer to
block
work.
it is? Yeah, I need a lesson, please, Alison, on how to use this computer before you go.
Do you know, as the week goes on, I fear that.
Right. So that's how Jenny left it with me.
Oh yeah, so that's chatter, and then over here is just Google.
So this is how it should be left.
Yeah,
Okay. So you'll send me messages on here.
if I need to, or you can send me messages.
Okay, and then I've got all croquet scores here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay then.
The rest of the world now knows how I communicate with you by the power of text on a laptop.
It works.
It
well, we
kind
don't
of
know.
works.
I'm
We don't know
assuming
if
it's
it
going
works.
to work. We'll find out in a minute. Okay,
Okay.
so do we know what block they're in, or do I have to find them?
I'm going to let you find them. I'm going to go.
Okay,
Goodbye,
Thank you, guys.
thank you.
I'll send either refreshments or replacements.
Oh, right. Jolly good. Excellent.
Okay, and we didn't actually see who, but the game we've been wittering on about, we now missed what happened, so we don't know who's won. So this is block
Is it Lynn?
Lynn Piercy.
Lynn?
Lynn?
I'll go and find out.
No, because if she lost, she'll be grumpy. Well, not grumpy, but you know. So Lynn's through anyway. So,
Lynn's right.
So the match we're about to start watching, as we said, Jessica Bullen, who is a very young New Zealand player. Brian Bullen is a well-known croquet player from New Zealand. And
Saw a tiny bit of her game this morning. She
Yeah.
ran hoop 13 from the boundary with a beautifully smooth shot.
I haven't actually seen her play yet, so,
So
I'm really
on the
quite
basis
pleased.
of the one shot
Yeah.
I saw, I thought she looked good.
Okay. Well, Susanna Romero has looked quite good at times as well. So, yeah. So that was a tough block, I think.
Right.
So it looks like Perihan Elwi, who is the number 2 seed, is the third
It's the
player
third
in
one.
this.
Right. Who's an
And
Egyptian?
She's an Egyptian, and she has got the, if you like, the lucky plays the winner of this one on the basis of net points.
Do they do it like that, or was
They
it,
do for
or is it
GC,
randomly?
yeah.
It's on
No, they
net,
do
net
it-
points, is
yeah,
it?
we
Right.
looked up the regulations earlier.
Ah,
so.
okay.
So Susana Romero from Spain has been playing, as I said, really quite well from what I've seen. But they had a tough block because Gabrielle Higgins, who, as you know, is a very, very good AC lady player, was the
But hasn't played-
third in that block.
She's
and
played a bit of GC, but not a huge amount. Has
very
she?
little,
Yeah.
so her grade is probably a little
under what it
under what it
really
should
is.
be.
Right.
Yeah. So that's always a bit
Was
tough.
she fourth in the
She
block
was,
or third? Third seed by the look of it. if
Gabrielle
that's
was the
right.
third seed. Yeah.
Susanna was fourth.
Susanna was fourth and
And
Jessica was fifth.
Fifth. Right.
Okay.
So it's sort of gone with the seeding, except that Gabrielle did a bit better than
Gabrielle did a bit better than Perihan, yeah.
Perihan.
Yeah.
So
well
we
done,
think
Gabrielle.
they've had their warm up.
Okay.
The crowd's in place,
Okay.
and I think this is a single game, isn't it?
It's a single game. Yeah.
And so it's
And the
one
winner
from three.
then plays Perihan.
So the loser's out, and the winner
Yeah.
then plays.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. I'm just trying to check that.
If it's one from
No,
three,
they've got 2 places they're playing for.
they're playing for 2 places. Oh, okay.
So the winner will presumably goes through, and the loser then plays Perihan.
And if the loser loses, I suspect they're out, and if the loser wins, I suspect there's a second game against Perihan, but I'm not
Yeah,
entirely sure.
I think so. Yeah.
So it'd be quite useful, maybe somebody who knows can put it in the comments or something, because
Yeah.
it'd be quite good to know the criticality
Certainly
of the
that's
game,
how it
wouldn't
normally works, isn't
Right.
it? But
Is it?
I'd
Okay.
have to read my own WCF
Yeah,
regulations.
we should have got the experts
I
in.
should, yeah, I should have reread those this morning, knowing that I was going to be on commentary, shouldn't I? And knowing that this was
That
liable
would
to
be
be asked.
useful, Debbie, yeah.
Damn, sorry. naughty Secretary General, hopeless.
Well,
There are so many regulations, I can't remember them all. And I'm not working this week. That's what Mike and Mike as manager
We're
and
off, aren't we? So Susanna's
that
won the toss, presumably,
yeah,
and is
that's
put a rather
quite short.
That looks short, isn't it?
Yeah. So Phil, what?
So I'm not really an expert on GC. In fact, I'm very much a
Right.
dummy at GC, but that looks like a bad first shot.
That was a bad first shot because ideally you want to be right in front of the hoop, but
'Cause you've-
long is better than short
And
because
because
then
you've
you
got the
control
advantage
the
as
short
blue.
boundary.
Right, okay, you've got to, the boundary's your sort of friend, isn't it? You've got to control it.
So if you can be where red is rather than where blue is, then you can clear a long way away.
Right,
But if yellow now gets a position, for instance, you could only clear 7-8 yards. So yellow's gone quite deep. Jessica's put the ball quite near the south boundary, and that's to avoid getting cleared, basically.
right, okay.
Because the most that Susanna could have moved her was just the yard or 2
So
back.
that's not worthwhile, really.
Yeah. So Susanna went for punting black forward, but of course black is just going to get moved.
So that's okay.
And
Oh,
that's
dear.
a miss.
So we probably, I guess, at the start, are you trying to see whether your opponent's nervous or that sort of thing? Are you just giving them a few shots?
Yeah, she's about to play out of turn.
So it is the wrong one, isn't it?
Blue's
Now,
playing out of turn.
So now we need.
Okay, none of
You're
the
the
referees.
resident expert
None of the
on.
referees are watching.
So a referee would intervene now, would
If
they,
the
if they'd seen
referees
it?
saw it, a referee would
But
intervene.
we're not allowed to intervene, are we? Are we allowed to intervene? We're not?
I'm not allowed. I think we're allowed to warn a referee. I'm
Are
not
we
sure.
allowed to warn a referee about anything that might have happened?
If we think something's played out of turn, are we allowed to tell you?
You are, yeah, but it should be me that notices it.
Right, blue just played
After
when
red.
black should have done.
They seem to be in
They-
debate themselves.
Yes.
They've realised
See
something's
if
gone
they
wrong,
sort
haven't
it
they?
out.
You let them get on with it, do you?
Right, there we go.
Well spotted, Jerry, well spotted. So I think there's quite a lot of nerves on this lawn.
It looked like it, didn't it?
Yeah, because
So
there was some.
so in the
the
first
opening
few
shots were
strokes,
not great, and
we've
then
had-
they were short, weren't they? Which just sort of shows you a bit nervous if you're
Yeah.
going short.
Yeah.
Or to me it does. And then playing out a turn.
Short
So
and played out of turn and missed a short
so
shot.
I think
It's
they're going
all
to take a bit of
happening
time
here.
to settle. I think
Yeah.
they need to go and get themselves half a
And
shandy
Jenny
to
Clark's
relax a
come
bit.
to say hello. Hi, Jenny.
Hello, hello. I've been sent to explain the playoff for this. Have you been discussing
We
that?
were trying to work
We
it
did-
out.
Yeah, we weren't
Yeah.
quite
Right.
sure, so that's good.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 people competing for 2 spots.
We just worked that out.
So what happens is you have what's called a map, a most advantageous position. So of the 3 of them, the person that performed the best was Perry Elwey.
Yeah.
So Perry Han gets a bye. What's happening with these 2? They're having a playoff. The winner of this game will qualify and will be in the knockout. And the loser goes in to play Perry, but basically carries that loss forward. So they go through, and the loser is 1 game down, essentially in a best of 3 with Perry Han.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
what we sort of
Right.
thought was happening,
It wasn't
wasn't
quite
it?
what we said, but it's.
Well,
Oh no, it probably was.
I think,
Near, something
I think
on
the
those
gist was
lines.
there, yeah.
So the winner
So-
of this game is
It's
has
through.
is through. Right.
Winner gets the afternoon off. So the loser, when they play
Then has
Perry,
to win 2 games.
yeah.
And then
So
has
if they
to
win
win
the
2
first
straight
one,
lanes.
we
Right.
keep going. So it's really good fun.
Yeah.
That's cool. Right.
It must feel quite horrible for that person that loses this one and then wins one and they're still not through.
Yeah, yeah, it's really hard work, and also
Yeah.
potentially playing on the same lawn. You've just lost a game. You're on the same lawn, which should be an advantage, but psychologically you've just lost a game.
Right. We don't know if they're going to put the next game on the same lawn though, but
No.
it would be quite nice for the viewers if they did actually, because then they could see the whole
Could see
thing
the
go
continuation
through.
of the knockout, wouldn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually see everything happening. I guess they just want to give different people time.
Yeah.
There's
In front of
one-
the cameras, yeah.
One more playoff I'll find for you, which is an interesting one.
So how many blocks have got playoffs?
Probably
Just
most of them.
2 or
I think
most
most
them?
of the
Certainly
blocks.
about 3 or 4 of them were just 4 qualifiers.
So
Okay.
not all the results are in yet. So block D, my block, you've got Kathy Brown, the number 7 seed, on 2 wins. Sylvia Shorts also on 2 wins, and I'm not sure who's won, but the winner of Helen Covington and Kate McLaughlin's on 2 wins.
Okay.
And that will be a case of 3 people vying for just 1 spot. Because
Okay.
yourself.
Yay!
So yeah, me and Debbie and Tafida are all through. So what happens with that is 2 people will play off. The loser is gone.
Yep.
Okay.
The winner carries on and plays essentially game up in a
In a
best,
best
of 3.
Right.
Right.
So
So that's only 2 more games that need to be played, not the 3 that you could
no, there's
conceivably have here.
potentially 3 here, because the winner of that game has to play the person who's waiting, and I haven't worked out who's got that position. The person who had the bye in this case has got the least advantageous position.
Yeah.
They have to win twice to get through.
Right.
So you have the first 2 play off in a sudden death 1 match. The winner is still alive, the loser's out of the event, but the winner then has to play the person who had the bye,
Right.
but they have that advantage that they game up.
Right.
So potentially 3 rounds for that one as well still.
Yep.
That's
So
good fun.
it's going to be stuff to watch during the barbecue this evening.
Yeah. It's going to go on a
Potentially, yeah.
while, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, we missed what happened there. I think they did ball swap.
They did a ball swap.
Yeah, and-
Jessica took a long shot from the far boundary at the black, which had been swapped it basically right in front of the hoop. Missed, and Susanna ran black, which down to hoop 2, but it's not in front, it's off to the side. And then they've just been punting the balls up.
Just in terms of your playoffs as well, Block B's got a playoff.
Okay.
So Dallas Cook won her match against Lynn Piercy. A very close fought one behind you.
Yeah,
that
it went
was
to
the
13.
So it was Dallas one, right?
So Dallas will have a straight single game playoff against Garda Karam, and winner goes through.
So Garda Karam was the number 2 seed in the block. So there's been some surprise play there. Jane Stevens from England and Lynn Piercy
Have done well.
And gone through ahead of the number 2 seed.
Yep, and Lynn was a qualifier for this event as well.
Yeah, that's what we were saying.
Fantastically.
We were saying earlier. She's playing really well. Yeah.
Gave me a big scare in the British Women's earlier this year.
Ah.
Not sure what's happening in Block E, but they seem to have a lot of people very close. Block E is one that they didn't get all the games finished last night, I believe.
So there's still more games to play in that then. Oh, that seemed a good shot. Am I right? That
We
was
ought
a
to be
nice
paying
shot.
attention to this, shouldn't we?
That black
Probably.
got smacked out of the way and
And
red's
red
finished in
stayed,
front.
so that is a good shot.
right.
Yeah.
Block F has no playoffs. Block G's got no playoffs. So we don't have a lot of playoffs.
So we think we've got 3 blocks of playoffs, do we?
At least probably 4 or 5.
Probably 4. Right.
Some of them are still finishing off games, finishing off matches, and we'll find out.
So it could be going on late, couldn't it? If there's some
Could
playoffs
be,
of the
yeah.
blocks that have not yet completed.
That's a nice shot
That's
from
another
Jessica.
nice shot from Jessica.
So she's now left blue with a 7-yard clearance to move red from in front of the hoop. So we better be slightly quiet and not to put the players off. Good shot.
That was a
So
nice shot,
Susanna's
wasn't it?
cleared red. She played at medium pace.
Okay.
With the view that hopefully blue would hang around, but because
Right.
she hit it half ball, blue's gone a fair distance away.
It's further away than red, anyway.
Yeah, so really in golf croquet it's really quite important to hit ball centre ball if you can.
Right.
But that
So
one
do
she
you
caught
think
half ball.
Is this good enough that black will have a go at this?
Black will definitely have
Right.
a go at this, yeah. It's in the jaws, so it looks as if it's enough in the jaws that red won't be able to get it out, although red is a little bit to the side.
Okay.
Whether red can have a go at jumping is unclear.
So
Although
what would you be doing here? Are you trying to use yellow to chip red forward? So it's
possibly,
on
yeah,
inside
that's
the hoop,
what
or-
Jessica's. Oh, that was a good effort. She may have a better angle at clearing black out of that
That's
now.
probably sort of, that might come out now, mightn't it?
Yeah. So that was a good shot from Jessica.
So at this stage, what blue is
Blues.
blue lapping in, or is blue trying to clear something?
Well, Susanna's come to have a look. Because a little bit depends whether she thinks red can do anything about black or
Right.
not.
Right.
If she thinks red could clear black, then I think I'd be inclined to just lag in.
Okay.
Because if you take position and red clears black, black then clears yellow, blue runs the hoop.
Okay. Right.
So she's listening to me, very good.
That's slightly. I think she was trying
do
to
you think
do
she
that,
was
wasn't
trying
she?
to block, maybe?
I don't know.
It's unclear whether she was taking position or
There
trying
was
to
a
block.
little knee bend which suggested it didn't quite do what she wanted.
No, quite. No,
It's not come out.
not come out. Now, it's unclear. Red might have stopped in a nasty position there. If red is horizontal level with the hoop,
It looks like it from here, doesn't
might
it?
not be able to get to 3.
Right. Let's have a look.
Black's gone for blocking it.
Oh, that's clever, isn't it?
That is clever, yeah.
Oh, very good.
Jessica's just overhit that, unfortunately for her. So if yellow had
because
gone...
blue was also blocking from there, wasn't it? So yellow in front there was a winner, wasn't it?
Yellow in front there was good, yeah, but this has given Susanna time to get back into this. And Jess has gone for a cuddle.
Oh.
Cuddle,
So
snuggle, I never know what to call it. I call them cuddles.
She's trying to make it a yellow-blue game and leave the other two out
she
of it.
Didn't quite get it. There was room. Yeah. So that paid off for Susanna. Okay. Clips. They forgot the clips. Very good. Okay. So if yellow can get tight position.
Yellow wants position here.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, slightly overhit that again. She's probably trying to block the blue shot.
So if blue can see the hoop, is blue trying to run it or is trying to take good position?
No. Take position,
Take
black
good
clears
position.
yellow.
Right.
So the key thing you have to do there is not block black at yellow.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be sad, wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
Now, one of the things that when you see the top men playing, yellow would be cleared halfway up the lawn, whereas what you're likely to see here is yellow will probably only go, 8-10 yards or something.
Right. Oh, that was
Well, she did
got
better.
the middle of
Yeah,
that,
she
didn't
did.
she?
She did that beautifully. So further than I
nicely done.
said by a little bit. So, but yeah, if, the top
Whereas
men
with the
players
men,
would have had
that would have been
been
thumping the boundary board down the bottom, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. But I wonder if she's got the wire. Jessica's aiming at something. So because she hit that dead straight, she might well have got the wire there.
No, because that was on the wrong the inside, didn't it?
So yeah, no wire. But anyway, she missed. So blue to run this hoop.
Make it 3-0, which is
Susanna's got off to a good start.
good start.
I was 3-0 up against Jenny yesterday in the second, and I lost it.
Oh, okay.
So
You were disappointed
not
with that.
counting any chickens for anything could happen yet. So yeah, 3-0, and red's gone up.
Pretty good, isn't it?
That looks pretty good. Yeah, nice shot from Jess there. Now I don't know whether Jess is a Jess or a Jessica, but I'm calling her Jess. So Jessica, apologies if you don't like being called Jess.
What shall I call her, Jessica then?
You call her Jessica and I'll call her Jess, and we apologise in advance. Ooh, she's clubbed that a bit.
That's a bit overhit, is it?
Yeah, she's overhit that a bit.
So blue's presumably trying to hit red here. Guess red's quite good.
Yeah. Oh, did that go through?
I don't think it did it?
No, they're still
Think it just
contesting the
flicked the
hoop.
wires.
Just flicked the wire. So she probably
No,
had
we
a
really
double.
want Jessica to get this to
Well, to make
get
it
back,
interesting.
get back
yeah,
in the game, don't we?
absolutely.
Don't want anything silly going on.
No.
Oh, it's spat out.
Spat out. These hoops have really been quite well set.
They are hard, are they?
Yeah, they're quite firm in the ground. The clearance is not huge. So, especially when you're shooting at an angle, if you catch a near wire, they just don't go through.
Right. Okay.
And unlike the normal cast iron hoops we normally have here, if you hit full on the fire wire, in England the hoop just gets out the way and you go through anyway.
You do most of the time,
No,
don't you?
here you just reject back. So they're not super difficult, but you've got to hit them right.
So you can't bully them through. You've got to more smooth them through. Then
You can bully them through if you hit straight.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Do you find, because I've only played with these are quadways, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only played with them maybe once, and the thing I found really awkward is that because the hoops are all metal, I found the sighting of them
Yeah,
really
lots
difficult
of people
because you
say
just
that.
haven't got the white sort of good contrast to see between the ball and the background and stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes the squares, which are the carrots, they're square. If you catch the sun wrong, they can really glare up at you.
Okay.
And you almost get dazzled by the metal.
But I suppose there isn't a solution to that because the paint seems to make them easier to run,
Well, I
doesn't
suppose
it?
they could paint the tops of the carrots though.
Or, well, I meant of the.
Well, that's a
Oh,
miss
these
from
missed there.
Susanna. I
I
don't
meant
mind
of
them
the
at
sighting
all.
problem.
Yeah,
that you
I
would
don't
have
mind them
because-
at all.
Because it's the sort of metallic colour, and you couldn't really do anything about that,
Yeah.
I guess.
It's never
Dunno,
bothered
maybe
me
you
at all,
could, I'm
really,
sure.
the whole uprights being a different colour. You've just been
Right.
attacked by a ball.
It's gone down. You can't reach it. It's down here.
Oh, okay. Right.
So what's happening here? There's nothing in front at the moment. Oh, the yellow sort of in front, isn't it? Red's going in front of us.
I think that was trying to block black's shot
Black it.
clearing yellow.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So what should happen next?
So
it's black to play, isn't
to
it?
play. If black can see yellow, it clears. If it can't, it can pop itself an inch in front of the hoop.
So why is it better to clear than just put yourself in front in this position?
Well, blues are, yeah. I think putting herself in front depends how close in she can get. Because if she's right in front, yellow won't want to clear.
Because of the danger of peeling it through.
So, I assume red can run, but by doing that, it might give her time to get blue back into the game, because blue is down in corner
blue's
3.
miles out
near
the way,
corner
isn't it?
3.
So this is a little bit harder shot to clear it. Oh no, she's not cleared it.
So
She's
yellow's
just put
gone
one
into
in.
jumping position.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, sorry, I'm talking rubbish because black won't still be there. Yellow's just put one in, and red's plan is red's going to clear.
And leave yellow to then make the hoop.
Yeah. But black will have some sort of shot back at yellow from wherever red puts it in a minute. Looks
So
like
blue's
Susanna's
sort of. I
taking.
suppose there's quite a lot of stuff to shoot at and keep your fingers crossed, isn't there?
She doesn't look
Or would you be
happy.
aiming at a particular?
No,
No,
she didn't
that's
look
off,
happy with
isn't
that,
it? That's
yeah.
off the side.
So can't quite see the angle from here, but I suspect black's going to be way over near corner 1 somewhere at the end of this.
Right. Okay. You
She'll
just try and
try
get
for
it.
the
You
in
just
off.
try and get it as far away as. Oh, you go for an in off here, do you? Right.
Well, you might as well. Yeah, she tried.
That's what she tried, and she's
Yeah.
got a reasonable distance with black now.
Yeah, I think I'd have liked a bit more if I could, but
Right.
I think rather than go
So
for the in off,
you
I
really
would rather.
concentrate on the distance.
Yeah. Well, again, it depends. If she thinks the yellow's 100% certain, then I'd have concentrated on getting black as far as possible.
Right.
But that would have risked red being on the boundary behind the hoop.
Right.
So by going for the in off, red has sort of stayed around a bit.
Right.
So she's covering herself a
It's
little
sort of
bit
better
in
backup,
case,
yeah.
in case yellow doesn't run.
And it's a bit awkward at that end with various barriers and adverts and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah,
to
you
actually
just
get
have
get her line it up,
Yeah,
line your body up.
most players are just agreeing with their opponents at the beginning of every match to just routinely bring them in.
Right.
Shot.
Always good shot. Yeah, you'd be. I mean, if it was a game of AC and that was your big lift shot, you'd be disappointed to have basically no stalking room at all, which is what there is there.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some lawns are set up like that, aren't they? But
Well, they don't normally have the netting here.
Yeah.
It's just with ball.
it's obviously protected.
The
isn't
hard
it?
hitting you get with GC, and the fact we've got spectators, it's just a safety thing. So, blues come in.
So who's got the advantage here at the moment?
Oh, I was hoping you weren't going to ask me that.
Oh, right, okay.
So, if Jess clears black, Jess has. If black doesn't get cleared, so
that's
Jess
a good
has. There you go.
clearance,
That was
isn't
a
it?
lovely shot. Yeah,
Right.
that was a nice shot. So yeah. So Susanna now has another long clearance to hit.
Because yellow looks,
Yeah.
from here, yellow looks quite good at the moment, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
But because she put blue in a minute ago, if she does clear yellow, blue's got a long but very achievable
Right.
hoop. If yellow doesn't do something, but she does need to move yellow now.
It was probably about this length she hit a minute ago, wasn't it, from the south boundary, and that's drifted past.
No. So, see if Jess can run this, what is it, 1.5 yards?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it's
guess
more
so.
angled than you thought.
Oh, it is a bit angled, isn't it?
Yeah. Ooh, and that's bounced off.
Caught a tiny bit of near wire, didn't it, I think?
Yeah. So, Susanna will go for this hoop now.
So it's straighter but longer, this one, isn't it? And
Ah, right, so
from here, that looks
blue
like
and
that's in
black
the
have the
jaws.
advantage.
Is that in the jaws? It looks like
That's
it's in the
jaws, and unless red can punt yellow behind, there's not a lot Jess can do. So her best option here is to hit yellow behind the hoop.
I've lost the track of where the black
Black's
is.
near where Susanna's standing.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, it's
Yeah.
hidden in there, isn't it?
So even if she puts yellow behind, Susanna will probably just punt
Just
yellow back again.
Somewhere. Yeah.
But I can't think of anything else she can do except go halfway, which is what she's doing. She's given up. So they quite often recommend in GC not to do the impossible. It's
Right.
very tempting to think, I can hit that 1
There's one in a
millimetre
million
of that
chance.
ball.
I'm
Yeah.
going to do it.
But yeah, you have to think whole game tactics, and yeah.
There's not a tiny chance of yellow jumping through that, is there? Or yellow jumping and clearing blue in the jump shot?
No, I don't.
You don't think so?
I don't think the angle's there. So
It's
you
hard to
might
tell
be
far away
asking
it is, isn't
why
it?
Susanna's gone where she's going.
Oh, yes, why has black gone there rather than the halfway line then?
Good question, Phil. I'm guessing that the idea was blue was going to give black a rush across.
Oh, so yellow's gone there to kind of try and get in the way a bit,
I think so, yeah. I've not actually seen anyone do this before.
do a promotion. So she's.
So
Oh, okay.
she actually gave her an in-off that has
To
got
get her
blue a
bit,
bit nearer,
bit
yeah.
further across.
Um,
So this is 4-0. So from the spectator point of view, we really need Jess to get the next two hoops, don't we?
well, yeah, it's
Jessica, sorry.
yeah. I'm not going to go with Jessie at this point. We should have found out before we came on commentary, but we didn't know.
I think
In our
she- I
defence,
think
we
she-
didn't know who
I
was
think
coming on
she's
the
Jessica,
lawn.
but I think I've heard
But
Chris or somebody
call her,
refer to
okay,
as
I
Jessica.
shall call her Jessica from now on then. Good shot,
Good shot.
Susanna.
That's a good shot. So Debbie, apart from yourself, who do you think are the favourites for this event?
Very funny. Much though I'd like to get the double, the AC Women's and the DC Women's, I'm not sure that's happening. Jenny, obviously, is always a contender. Rachel has been looking very good.
Right.
Soha, who won last year, not last year, 2019.
Right.
Clearly a contender. I've not seen all the other Egyptians, but I did see Amani play, and she looked really good.
Okay.
And then on the results, there's 2 or 3 others that have clearly just been, really quite strong. She does keep hitting Susanna, doesn't she?
She's been shooting pretty well, hasn't she? Those sort of I don't know, what do you call them, mid-range or something? Those kind of 7-10 yarders. She's been pretty consistent so far.
Piling the pressure on Jessica.
Yeah.
Let's see if Jessica can hit this one.
It's another must hit, isn't it?
It's another must hit, and
she's got that beautifully. Yeah.
Okay, so if blue misses, red's in front, so another chance for Jessica. And another hit.
Another good shot.
Yeah. So, seeing some good play here. Red comes back in front. So,
is black clearing here, or was black going in front and leaving the clearing to blue?
It depends really how much longer blue at red is. Black at red's obviously shorter than blue at red, but you're never going to make the hoop if you don't put balls in front. So she's putting a ball in front and assuming that blue will clear red.
Right.
Sooner or later you have to put balls in front, otherwise you just can't.
Oh, so this is a
that
block.
Was a block. Yeah.
From here, that looks like it might be.
Good, yeah.
In which case.
Yep,
there's a little
nodding
nod from
going
the
on.
oppo from Susanna, so that's a good shot.
So yeah.
Now that looks really hard to me to get that.
That was a good
on
shot.
That line. That was a good shot.
Yeah. So one of the things that I've been trying to spot when I've been playing, and I've probably missed it loads, but sometimes you can put your ball into a position that makes the block that you need to play next easier. So you could take position maybe 3 foot out instead of 2 foot out, so that you're playing more along the line of where the block is instead of coming in at 90 degrees.
Okay. So you've got to be thinking a step ahead of where you might want to do the block.
So I've been trying to spot those, but as I said, I probably missed loads. Oh, Jessica.
So she's been shooting well, Jessica, but the hoop running's
letting her down. Yeah. So she's probably forced to jump here though, because blue can't clear red. I don't think.
It looks like a jump, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And trying to get this on the not bouncing in front. This is just clean over the top, isn't it?
Clean over the top from there, yeah. Well.
It was enough.
It
got enough jump to clear red, didn't it?
Yeah.
And I guess that sort of jump shot is one where, if you're a strong bloke, you've got a big advantage compared to.
Yeah. So black must have had a hoop shot then, otherwise yellow wouldn't have cleared.
Right.
So if she hadn't cleared, blue clears red, black has the hoop.
Right.
So it didn't look from here as if black had a hoop shot, but it must have done. So Susanna's gone long again, which is to try and stop Jessica clearing.
So is
Hold
yellow
on,
go
they've just
tight, or
they've just played out of order
have they
again.
just? I thought something
Yeah,
felt
they've
wrong,
just
didn't
played
it?
out of order.
Aha.
Blue should have played.
So Jessica's realised.
Yeah,
The referee's watching another game.
yeah.
So out of order is this ball swap, and
Yeah, because
but
she's
you
it-
don't forfeit your turn. You just swap the balls.
Right. So if it's the out of orderness is a partner ball, then the opponent has the choice of ball swap, so she can just put blue where black is and black where blue is,
Okay.
and then I think I can never think this through. Red to play, or it can be replace and replay. So black comes back and then blue plays.
Right. So if the which ball just got played then? Black just got
Black
played.
got played.
So if you do the swap, then yellow will play or red will play.
I think red then plays
Okay.
because blue goes where black is and then red plays.
So it's as
So I
though
find
it's
it
as though
really
blue had
difficult to
played.
visualise this.
It's as though blue had played. So
Yeah.
not much of a penalty really, is there? Having played out
Well,
of sequence.
the advice is that if the person's played a good shot, you ball swap. If they've played a good shot, you replace and replay. And if they've played a bad shot, you ball swap. But
Right.
obviously every case is different. So no, they've gone back and
So now it's gone back and blue's going to play in.
yeah, blue's going to play. So they've gone for replace and replay. So blue to play. It's a really I did the referees course about a month ago,
Oh,
and I
right.
passed. And then I've been playing AC ever since.
So you
And-
can't remember the rules
Well,
anymore. They're
I'm-
sufficiently different on things like that,
I'm
aren't
now
they?
completely confused. Because I can't remember whether some of the rules are AC rules or GC rules. And I played an air shot earlier, a couple of days ago, and I thought, no, that's allowed in GC, but then I was hampered. So I thought, oh, I'm sure it's allowed, but I'll check with the referee because I was hampered. So the referee came on and I said, oh, I was hampered. Oh, no, that's your turn then, he says. So he got it wrong as well.
Oh, so it is still right. Okay.
Because it should have been fine.
It should have. You're allowed to do air shots in any circumstance. Yeah, wrong. There's a wrong ball in AC. It's putting back end of turn, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a much more.
Oh, another good
another
shot.
great shot.
She's
It's
blocked
been
blue
really,
though.
really solid on those
She really has, yeah.
8-yarders.
So no, my job for this winter is to reread the AC rules, reread the GC rules, try and work out how to get the differences straight in my head. Yeah.
So we've got blue to play, but blue is stymied by black.
So I know
And
what.
then red is going to be trying to clear black
Yeah.
afterwards.
So
So
she
is
could-
red going to? Is blue
Yeah.
block?
Well, she could.
Do a bit of blocking, or
Yeah,
maybe can get in
possibly.
there. Maybe
Because
she's
if she
gone
just
for it, isn't
punted
it?
black forward, red will just clear black and then yellow runs. So red could just pop another ball in between black and yellow.
Okay,
If she fails, it's. Oh no, it looks like she's open on
looks
black.
like she's open on it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The swing there.
Oh, lovely
Lovely
shot. So they're both clearing really well, aren't they?
They are, aren't they? So I think Jessica seems to hit the ball a little bit harder,
Yeah,
but her hoop running has let her down, really, isn't it?
yeah.
That's been the
absolutely.
difference so far. Because outside that, it's been
Pretty even,
pretty
really.
even, hasn't it?
Yeah. So we are going to have to keep paying attention in case they play out of order again.
Yeah.
It's twice now. There must be something about this lawn
This
this
one, I
morning.
missed one at last.
The previous game, apparently they were playing out of order for about 5 minutes. And they
Oh, really?
noticed. And then they got it wrong later on as well. And so
So in-
something with this lawn today, that everybody's
So
going wrong.
if you play out of sequence for ages, do you take it all back in
No,
GC? You just
no.
It's just you go back one
Just-
shot or something. do you?
Yeah, it's the last, as soon as it's spotted, that's the person that gets penalised basically.
That was a good punt up to the next two, but so she's
So-
got.
4-1.
It's gone a bit far, but it's
So if blue can get wide position here,
oh right. It's
can't
deepish,
tell
but it
from
might
here.
be wide, mightn't it?
From Jessica's look, I'd say that's
That-
wide.
Yeah, that did seem to be a side, didn't
There
it?
was a sigh, yeah. So, yep, she's taking on the clearance on trying to clear blue.
Would you be going at this full strength or medium pace to stay in? Look close.
Not sure that was full pace, but yeah. The lawns are quite good here. I mean, there are a few little hills, but that sort of pace that Jessica played is probably not going to hill.
Right.
You wouldn't want to go much weaker than that, though. She might have gotten her own way there.
Is black hampering there?
Yeah. Well, I think Jess is going to try and trickle through the back. No. So,
It is hampering it, isn't it? That black
well,
is
that
hampering
doesn't
the blue.
matter though, because yellow's
Doesn't
now
it?
yellow's now gone in the way of red shot. All she's got to do is just tap black forward so that red can't see it because it's hidden behind yellow.
Blue hits black on
blue
a
hits
bit.
black on a bit.
Right.
Or that's what I'd do anyway. But it looks like she's putting a block out, which is also good.
Okay. Right.
I'd be tempted to just get black a bit nearer and hide it behind yellow. But this is probably the more certain of getting the block shot, isn't it? Of course, that sort of little taps one we do a lot in AC, isn't
and they're
it?
not,
So
yeah. That's just a sort of shot we're used to, isn't it? A little
Yeah.
tiny little rush. And that's gone for a dribble, so I guess it
Oh,
was
okay.
blocked, wasn't it?
she didn't miss that by much.
Nope. It's only gone on a few inches, isn't it?
Oh, she still forced her to make the sweep though. You know, by putting red in, Susanna's now thinking. Well, she wasn't, but
She's
Susanna
thinking
could
of-
have been
thinking of
thinking.
on the hoop.
Okay, but if she hadn't, you know, then yellow could have punted blue away and red was in a good position. So Jessica did the right thing.
Stop.
I think.
Come. Oh,
That's
a
lovely.
good opener,
That's
isn't
lovely,
it? That was
yeah.
a good one.
Blue comes in. It's a little bit short, but I think that will run.
Is black open on yellow?
I don't know. Blue might have gone in the way.
She's just everything's in the way of everything else
I
now,
don't
isn't
think
it?
she wanted to do that because yellow's not going to be able to clear blue.
It can't run the hoop, so that's
So we could have some sort of little snuggle or something in a minute,
Right.
yellow and blue. But
it's a snuggle.
it's when you cosy up close to the ball and
Okay,
you stop.
to stop them
Yeah.
wielding them out at it.
Yeah. You can do it either side, in front or behind.
Okay.
Um,
So black is anyway gonna. Looks like she's trying to clear everything in this shot.
well, I suspect she can just clear yellow and red. Oh, enough.
Did that go through?
That did go through.
Oh right, I thought it did go through. You're right,
Yeah.
I thought it flicked the wire, but okay.
Yeah.
Oh well, that was a great
So
outcome, wasn't it?
That was very lucky, yeah. There is a bit of luck in this game.
So we're in must-win territory, aren't we?
Yeah, 6-1. That was a lovely shot.
That's a good opener.
Lovely shot. So Jessica's pace has been very good.
Oh, she gone for the hoop there, or she gone for yellow, I suppose.
She's gone for yellow. Yeah. So again, we've not got the right perspective.
You see,
Red-
if I was playing a GC, I'd have been trying to run the hoop there because it was run to glory in the match. That's not a good tactics.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, red's got the hoop in the way, so she's hoping that yellow runs the hoop and is
But
just
black is probably a bit
got
hampered
close
as well,
she
isn't it?
could. Probably, yeah. Yeah, she's taking the clips off.
So do you have to practice these sort of flicky kind of shots a lot, do you? Because they happen quite a lot.
Oh, but I don't practice
You
them,
don't?
but,
Okay. People might.
People might, yeah. Yeah, look clean.
That's clean.
Didn't hit yellow or run the hoop. So, the clips have been left. Are we allowed to say?
You took them off. Susanna took them off, didn't she? Yeah.
Now in AC, you're not allowed to call attention to a misplaced clip. Again, I should
But
know.
is it mis? Oh, well, that's interesting. Is it misplaced being on the? Oh, Jessica, is it misplaced being on the ground? Because misplaced is surely when it's on the wrong hoop or something.
Well, exactly.
But if it's on the ground, is it really misplaced? I don't know.
Really misplaced
I don't know, I
or just,
should know
or
that,
just
shouldn't I?
litter? Yeah.
But I think rather than thinking an AC ref would have
An AC
made
ref
sure,
would have-
make sure the clips are back on. I don't know
Yeah.
if the GC refs that's in their remit or not.
Well, it probably should be, but anyway, it's unlikely
So
to be
I'm
a
sitting
problem.
here
so
looking at those
yeah.
clips and itching to nip out and put them on.
Yeah.
Better not.
Well,
They're not going. They probably won't get
they're
up
not,
this end
they're
again, will
not
they? Because this
likely
is
to
only
be in
13,
play,
so
are
they
they?
probably
So
won't.
certainly not critically in play.
Not for a
so-
while anyway.
So we'll just sit tight and
Let them
somebody
discover it when
will,
they
somebody will
clear the
spot
lawn
that
up.
sooner or later.
So red is looking good, isn't it?
Red is looking good.
Black looks like it's hampered by the hoop. So in this sort of position, you just try and dribble in the back of the hoop, do you?
Well, I suspect she's trying to block yellow at blue, so that blue can either run the hoop or clear
Oh,
red.
I've got the wrong order, so I was thinking it was red to play next. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm going mad.
Ah, there we go. Well done,
Oh,
Richard.
the
You've
ref has spotted
clips.
the clips and is coming out to put them.
Nice clearance again.
Yep, that's very good. And that's got a good distance on that, hasn't it? That's
Yeah.
16 yards or something?
Yeah, 15, 16 yards. That's a rare miss. So, I'm guessing Jessica will run this one.
I'm going to do a stop shot with yellow and the balls are touching. Right.
Hey,
Right,
good.
6-2.
6-2.
Am I good to take my shot?
It's a little long, but that will definitely run. So personally, I'd be having 2 goes at this.
You'd be trying to clear it.
Yeah, I think so. That doesn't help her case.
Now that That is a bad spot, isn't
That
it?
is a really bad spot,
Right.
yeah.
Because
She
you're
can't do
wired
it. She
from the
can't-
whole of the area of interest,
Yeah,
really,
she
aren't
can't
you?
do anything except tap it out next go.
Yeah, that's a sort of AC style cross-wiring yourself or something, isn't it?
That's really, and that's a lovely shot in from Susanna, I think. Again, apologies, listeners. We don't have great.
What a funny angle to see the
Yeah,
soup, aren't we?
we don't have the perspective to see always whether things are straight in front or not. She's shooting this time. And missed.
It's missed.
So,
So if blue's in front,
well, it's black to play.
it's black to play, isn't it? Yeah.
And black definitely has a runnable hoop, it's only slightly angled.
She's thinking about it, didn't she? No, she's decided she's having a go at it. Well, we can't see where that's. I can't see where that's finished. We're
I assume
completely.
it's in front of the hoop. So I don't think Jessica's about to play the one ball. I think she's just putting it on. It's yellow to play. Yeah, here she comes. So yellow might be able to clear blue to at least stop blue popping black through.
Yes, it is, isn't it? So blue needed to be.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, and we can now
So-
see black, which does look nicely in front, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
but red might be able to see it. In which
It might
case,
be able to see it, in which case
it's not
it's
all
actually
over
got.
quite yet.
What's blue doing here? Putting one in, or is it
no,
trying to promote?
probably clearing yellow,
Just clear yellow. Right.
just in case red does clear black.
Oh dear, that backswing just caught the net then.
Yeah. There we go.
Spectators
An helpful
assisting there,
spectator, yeah.
holding the net back.
Yeah. Well,
Was she trying for the hoop or to promote black there? It didn't look like she was going for yellow, did it?
I'd have been clearing yellow
You'd have been
there,
clearing
but
yellow.
I mean, because black looks like it's an inch or two back, so I wouldn't have been trying to rush peel it because
The
you'd
odds
have
are
to
not
hit it
that great.
perfectly, wouldn't you, to get it through? So
Well, this is another must hit, isn't it?
it is another must hit, yeah. And
Yep.
it is hit.
So blue and black have a slight advantage at this hoop, or is there basically nothing in it?
Well, I thought black was going to end up in a better position than that, but she didn't hit it square, so black's gone
Right.
off. So yellow's first in.
So that means yellow's had the advantage, does it?
Yellow did have the advantage, but it looks like Jessica's overhit that from where we're sitting. So
She might have
I'm
done,
not
won't
quite
she?
sure how good a hoop shot she's got on that. So
Blue,
that's a
that's
beauty.
gone. That's gone perfectly, hasn't it?
That's a beauty. Yeah.
So black is threatening to clear
Yellow.
yellow, and there's not much red can do about that, is there?
No, red's coming in.
Should she have gone for blue there?
Yeah, I think I might have done. Okay. So black should just pop yellow anywhere behind the hoop should be good enough because, you know,
Then you've not got that much to aim at, have you?
no. Yeah, nicely done.
That's a good shot.
So Jessica's only shot
Good
now
shot.
is to run back through the hoop. Oh, she had some
Great
of it to
shot.
see. So it wasn't through the hoop, I don't think. I think she had some of it to see. So that really was a good shot. The shooting's been marvellous in
It
this
has
match,
been
hasn't it?
very high standard, hasn't
Yeah.
it? So, lag one back in again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In, out, in, out. It's a bit like the hokey cokey, isn't it? I think she's going for the hoop.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. She's gone.
And
She's
got
run it. Well, that was a great
So,
finish, wasn't it?
that
You
was a great finish.
Got fed up with all the mucking about that, who decided just to do it.
Right, so congratulations, Susanna. That's Susanna
She played
through.
hoop running was excellent,
her
wasn't it?
hoop running
and
was
as
what
well
made
as
the
all,
difference.
both had really
Yeah.
good hitting, but her hoop running was very good.
That was the main difference there. So Jessica now has to play Perihan and has to win 2 against her to go through.
Right, 2 straight games.
Yeah. So
We're hoping they're going to go on this lawn too.
we are indeed.
We can keep
Now, Phil,
keep watching.
can I leave you on your own for 2 seconds whilst I have a
Once you
comfort
disappear.
break?
Yeah, okay.
I will be back.
So we'll try and find out what's happening around us.
So I will be back
behind
shortly.
me. I wonder if we can find out who's playing behind us. Let's see if we can work out who's playing in the other games near us. Do you know where the other playoff games are happening?
I don't. No, they're just being put on the board as we speak. Do you want me to find out?
Well,
Hi everyone, I think I'm going to keep this stream running for a bit longer. I think we're going to have another playoff match, so stick with us and your commentators will be back with you shortly.
From New Zealand.
okay.
It's a straightforward one game, winner qualifies, losers out.
Okay, so we've got a playoff from a different block
Yep.
to go on here.
Yep.
That's good to have something simple though. We were
So guarded
scratching what was going
a
on.
number 2 seeded in the block, and Dallas, who got off to a really slow start and has been working her way back in and just about has managed to squeeze into a playoff. So should be quite competitive, this. No, Dallas is gradually finding a form as the event goes on.
Right.
And she's always been quite competitive. I think Dallas was the winner of the Shield in the last event in New Zealand.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, that's quite a strong performance. And she would be expecting to qualify. But equally, Garda as the number 2 seed.
So she'd also be expecting to qualify.
Yeah, so one of the higher quality playoff matches we'll have the opportunity to watch.
I'm just looking in their block. It went 3 games. And Garda won 7-6, 3-7, 7-3.
So yeah, it should be competitive.
Not much between them, is there?
I don't think there's a lot. I think Garda will be a slight favourite. We're never 100% sure about the weather conditions when they last played, but today we've got very pleasant weather.
It's
and
nice today, isn't it?
The Egyptians are always going to be better if it's
a bit warmer
still,
and there's no wind, or hardly any wind today.
Yeah. Sun's definitely out. We're both in our shirt sleeves, aren't we, Phil?
Yep.
And
people have got the sun hats on. So Dallas is. Oh, she warm? Oh, she's starting to warm up now. So Garda's been warming up at least 2 or 3 minutes longer.
So the 2 styles, Dallas will be playing right-handed, standard, and
split grip by the look of it from here.
A little bit. It's not fully split. There's certainly an element of the swing coming from the shoulders. It's not particularly wristy. And Garda has your absolutely standard Irish. And I was just actually watching her there, and I'm just wondering, does she take position left-handed and run hoops right-handed? So that's definitely left-handed on the positional side.
Yes, right hand on the top there, wasn't it? Yep.
I'd just be interested to see her play some hard shots as to whether she changes or not.
I can't see from that angle. So some people
do.
I mean, I've seen people swap between like a standard grip and the Solomon grip for some shots, but actually both Irish, but one right-handed and one left-handed. I don't think I've ever seen anybody change grips, but I suppose you might want to.
No, everything I've seen is left-handed. I think another thing worth mentioning is it's not quite a standard Irish grip. It's got an element of overlapping. So anyone who's used to seeing Ahmed El Mahdi play, he plays with his hands right at the top of the mallet, and they overlap each other in an Irish. So they're almost working in conjunction. And I really do quite like it as a technique. They're not fully split as, let's say, you'd be used to Mark Avery with his hands very much split.
Yeah.
But they're actually working sort of in unison.
So they're effectively just one bundle that's
more overlapping than your average Irish player.
Some people do like a golf grip, don't they, with a couple of fingers sort of interlocked, but that you get more overlapping than that.
So I'm looking forward to seeing Garda play. I've only watched her a little bit so far this tournament, and I think it should be a competitive game.
I certainly hope it'll be a nice close game, really, don't we?
And these single, just playoff games, it's just one game, 13 point. I always like to win the toss.
Right, that gives you the advantage on that first hoop, and 1-0 up is
and hopefully, from my point of view, 2-0 up soon. If I can run hoop one well.
With a good,
Yeah, there's nothing worse than knowing you've got a single playoff game and your first shot your opponent takes 3 foot straight position in front of hoop one.
And you've got a nice, whatever that is, 20 yards to hit, otherwise you've lost the first 2 hoops.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a shot to practice in the warm-up then, the placement from...
It's always my last part of my
practice. Right.
I'm going to practice approaching 13 after going around the 12 hoops.
Okay.
Because people often forget that one. And it's actually quite important. And we were talking, Jenny and myself, in the last game about how uphill the approach to 13 is here, and the fact that it hills away from our commentary position and towards the clubhouse.
Right.
So you want to have...
It does, doesn't it? If I'm thinking playing an AC shot and putting the Pioneers out, it does hill off, doesn't it?
Yeah, so definitely want that to be part of my practice, and then I want to finish with a mental image of taking position at hoop 1.
So you want to hit
at least 2 and probably 4 shots
across, and hopefully you get one absolutely spot on, and then try and remember that one.
Exactly.
So Dallas seems to have a very nice, smooth swing, quite gentle, but smooth. Whereas
she can.
Garda seems to have more of a. It's not as smooth, is it? But it's more of the Egyptian.
Yeah, if you feel the
whack on it.
Yeah, the mallet weights. Gardas will be playing with a very light mallet and will need to generate power by swinging hard.
Right.
And Dallas will have a heavier mallet and allow the shoulders just to naturally strike the ball. She can generate decent power. And if Garda plays a approach to 13 like that in the game, she'll be quite happy. Black's just 4 foot.
So she's taking your advice of practicing that, and that's the second one in there, which is also
very
good, isn't it?
Very good. Positional play so important in these matches.
So that's the most important shot is the...
At this level, it's the most important shot. As we get to the quarterfinals, you're going to find more emphasis on good clearance, good hoop running from longer distances.
Right.
But here, you can win matches almost entirely with really good positional play.
Right.
I think
you don't have to hit much or run any long hoops. You've just got to keep putting it in there.
Yep. Wait for the mistake. Virginia Arney's done very well this tournament. Very little power, but exceptionally good positional play.
Right.
And obviously there comes a level when you're playing a slightly stronger player when you need more than that. But number one thing to work on is just get really good at positional play. And then, we were mentioning, make sure you can run hoops by 15 yards or 18 yards rather than just going through 3 or 4.
So you've got to boost it up to the next hoop, really, haven't you?
Try to get 2 hoop swings all the time.
So is somebody timing the practice, or did they just have a bash around until they both feel like they've had enough?
They should have 5 minutes. This is their second match of the day. Only the number 1 seeds didn't have a match this morning.
And they presumably all got through, did they? Or did any of them go in a playoff?
No, they've all comfortably qualified. 4 of them have actually managed to qualify without dropping a game.
Without dropping a game? Well,
yeah.
That is good, isn't it?
It is. Certainly one of the things you're looking for is, can you actually dominate to the extent that you're winning 2-0 all the time? So, you're going to get a coin toss.
Dallas has tossed.
And it looks like
came from a spectator. There you go.
Garda's won the toss. Can she put this straight in front of 1 and immediately start to dominate?
Shot, isn't it? We'll sort this computer out because it seems to have got all a bit tangled. I think it's plugged in your side, so it makes more sense to have it over there. What's that one like?
And that is a 10.
That is a 10 out of 10, isn't it?
I would be ecstatic at that.
That's not your 3 foot straight in front. That's under a foot, isn't it?
And irrespective of what your standard tactics are, you have to shoot twice at this. You can't afford to play in with the first ball. This is a two-shotter.
Yeah, because blue's so good, it's got good control to get down to hoop 2, isn't it? So.
So just go at your optimal hitting pace here. Most people that'll be pretty firm. You've just simply got to move the blue.
You've got to hit it. Hit it nice and cleanly. But then that was way off, wasn't it?
Yeah, nice positive strike.
Yep.
You mentioned she was stroking it around the lawn. I think that shows she's got the power to clear with some oomph. And Dallas is part of a big croquet family.
Oh, okay.
So Jeff Young and Phyllis Young. Parents, and
I've met Ashley this morning.
Ashley, her daughter.
Right.
So there's 3 generations playing. All good players.
So this black is just going another one in position, but a bit further back.
Yeah, you don't want it messing around with blue.
Don't want it anywhere near it.
No.
Yeah.
And some players try to block yellow at blue with black, and it's just wrong. It's so difficult to achieve. You're much better.
Wow. That was close.
Much better just popping black in front of the hoop as an extra security blanket.
So what is your when you play your ball in? Do you have to play it from the corner spot, or do you get some?
So you can play it.
I only really know for club play.
You can play it from 1 yard within the corner flag. So if you get to place your mallet, and it sort of creates an arc. If you imagine a corner spot at a soccer pitch.
So to block that would be
quite tricky.
The whole yard is exceedingly difficult.
Indeed.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So blue took a bit too much wire there and hasn't managed to make it in the northern part of the lawn. And I'm sure Gardner will be disappointed with that, having played such a good positional shot.
So red has sort of got the first leg into the hoop, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's under hit as well, I think.
A little bit under, isn't it?
It's probably only 1 yard, so it's not a bad shot.
It's certainly runnable from there, isn't it?
Certainly, yeah. But yeah, Gardner will try and play black between red and the hoop. This is now...
And that's hilling off to your... Is that hilling off a bit?
The distance was excellent, wasn't it? It's just gone a little bit too far east. And now we're going to see how the match is going to develop. Are we going to get quite an aggressive match?
Now that's
quite good.
That's quite good, isn't it? Do you care that you don't care that's blocking red, do you? Because red can now clear black.
Correct. And she's going to take blue at red, and we haven't seen this happen very much.
Oh, okay.
We've seen balls played in at this stage.
Blue at red, okay. Just to try and stop red clearing black.
Yeah. Super shot.
And that's got it. It can still go at black, can't it? But it's a much longer shot now.
Yeah. And again, whether this clears black or takes position will again determine Dallas's mental state and how she's going to play the game. I got it, but not much of it. It's actually cut it to quite a handy place because it makes the clearance of yellow a lot more difficult.
Okay. There's a danger of promoting it into the hoop.
Yeah.
So both that attempted clearance and the putting it in front were both playable.
Yeah.
It depends whether you're thinking sort of how aggressive you're going to be. And
yeah, I think viewers who've been watching a lot of this will see that mainly the players have been putting a ball back in front. They haven't been taking the longer clearances on.
That's
and both these players have come out and they've immediately played to what is an attempted higher level of physical ability,
Right.
and both of them hit their shots, and
So that's
very
promises
promising.
well, doesn't it?
So yellow will take wide position from the black ball,
Not
and it's
quite.
overhit it.
Not
And
quite.
black's really only got a 4.5 yarder at that, and you have to be wide from black. These little shots taking position. If
Quite
yellow,
awkward, aren't they? They're quite tricky.
and so important. If yellow had got that wide position, blue would have been forced to try and clear yellow. Now
Right.
it can just play into position and allow black the long clearance towards corner 4.
Right. So blue and black have got the advantage here.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lovely leg, but it's
And just a reminder, we're sat in our commentary position near corner 2, so we may just go quiet occasionally to allow the players a little bit of quiet. And she actually hit the hoop first, didn't she there, Phil?
yeah.
So lucky really
So
to clear
came
yellow
out
at
well,
all.
better than you could have expected, didn't it?
And that's all you can do, just clear blue to the
Got in the
boundary.
middle of blue there.
And the standard thing to do here is to try and clear red mid-pace. You want blue to stay within 4 or 5 yards if
Okay.
you hit it.
So red is cleared far enough, and blue's still well in the action.
Yeah, you don't want to flick off it 15, 18 yards away.
And that will be true for the top men playing as well. They'll be
Absolutely.
going mid-pace.
Yes.
There's not an advantage to have. Well, it's you don't gain enough by having red on the boundary at the far end sometimes.
No,
She's gone a bit harder than mid-pace there, hasn't she?
that would be harder than I would have hit it. My ball would probably not have been getting off the far boundary.
That's kind of the first real mistake we've seen, isn't it?
Yeah. And you mentioned what a good positional shot Dallas had played from the boundary as well,
Yeah,
and now
and
she's
that's-
reaping the reward. Yeah,
Lovely. So
nicely
there we
through.
go. So they both should have a bit of settling there and a bit of confidence. 1-1, and they both played pretty well so far, haven't they?
Yeah.
From my
Dallas just
inexpert view.
going to fetch some clips that she's forgotten to pick up before the game, and she's directed blue to go off to the western penalty spot.
So I understand the mechanics of Dallas's swing, which is kind of, you've got everything going straight, haven't you?
Yep.
You've got trying to bring the mallet head forward in a straight line, extend your forearms through, etc. So this sort of Irish halfway down the shaft grip is not. It looks to me like it's not trying to do the same everything in a straight line. There seems to be more of a kink in it, and that
There's
seems
a
to be the
l-
Egyptian
There's a
way.
lot more wrist involved in generating power. So instead of the long levers coming from the shoulders, a lot more power comes from the wrist.
So it's more like a sort of golf swing, in that you're trying to time it right.
Certainly is an element of that, yeah. Another really good positional shot there from distance with black. It's probably about 1.5 balls short of dead straight. But yeah, timing far more important. Because you're using your smaller muscles, your wrist muscles, instead of more the long levers coming from the shoulder.
So that means it tends to be a bit more variable, does it?
It does,
Right.
and I think we've already seen this tournament. The Egyptian players can have a 3.5 yard hoop, and some of them can flick off the outside. Whereas a more consistent sort of AC style technique, we're always going to hit the middle of the wire or better from there.
Right.
So yeah, the more shots you can get them to take, more clearances, eventually they'll probably flick off one.
Close.
Yeah, wasn't a great positional shot with yellow, so that was really just to stay in the hoop rather than gain any great advantage with yellow not being on the right side of the hoop.
So it looks...
It's straighter than I thought it was, this actually.
This looks alright, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, very good positional shot from where she was with black. And we saw during the practice she was taking these on firmly.
Yeah, you want to get this up to 4, I guess, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
We also saw during the practice that she failed about 5. So that level of consistency, whereas an AC player would run that really quite regularly,
but not be trying to boost it down to
4.
Would you be, kind of get level with hoop?
And
5 yards through would be about as hard as you'd ever want to hit it, isn't it? In AC.
Yeah. And in this position, I tend to clear the black. I tend to say my best chance of winning the hoop is to clear the black, let blue have a go at it.
Okay.
And if it doesn't succeed, I'm going to be favourite again.
Because if you clear blue here, then your red absolutely has to clear black.
Has to clear black. Blue's just going to play in again. So you're probably going to be in a position where blue's still going to be in front. Yellow hasn't got an easy hoop. You're going to be in a multiple clearance situation.
Right.
And I'd rather let blue have had a go at a long, slightly angled hoop.
Then you'd have to hit 4 clearances in a row to even be in the hoop.
Yeah. And blue's tried to play in blocking yellow's hoop. So that's not just randomly popping it in front. It's tried to say, actually, I don't want yellow to have any go. I want yellow to have to hit
clear me if red is clear black.
Yeah. No, and that's where she looked like it was aiming to me.
The one before was a similar distance on the left, wasn't it? So.
Yep. So now a much easier hoop. Can she get this all the way down to hoop 4? Remember, hoop 1 from this position still finished the wrong half of the lawn. So she's asking for a hammer just to tap that mallet down. If you hit it in the wire, you don't want the hoop to be loose. It'll take lots of energy out of the ball.
Right.
So you can get it firmer. Whilst it is a bit more difficult to run,
if it does run, it's going to be more predictable
it
goes.
It is, yeah. And remember, these are day 4 hoops on soft ground, so they are starting to get a bit floppy.
Do you know when they're resetting them, or if they are at any point?
Well, I'm hoping it'll be tonight before the start of the knockout.
Okay.
But I don't know. That will be part of the bid document that clubs would put into the WCF. And again, didn't get enough on that. Took quite a lot of wire.
It was quite.
It was hard enough.
I thought she changed the way she played that a bit. I thought she stabbed at it a bit rather than.
She did, definitely.
Didn't seem exactly the same style as previously.
Yep, that was definitely true.
What's that one like? That looks
quite good,
doesn't it? That looks pretty good.
Red is in a horrible position. We're up sat by red, so we'll be quiet soon. But it's got the peg in play. It's not a nice place to take position from. It's very aggressive. And I said that as aggressive, Phil. Normally the Egyptians are taught that the first ball plays into position. And Hoop 1, obviously, it was a 2-shotter because it was dead straight in front. This yellow is a good 2 yards back, isn't it?
Right.
So you'd normally think...
The normal tactic would be put blue in.
And then clear
position,
with
and
black.
then clear with black, which is that much nearer.
Particularly when red was in such a poor position. So, you know, if you do clear with black, you're actually in quite a good position.
Right.
But now...
Blue's on the wrong side of the hoop, so, yeah.
And that would be a go at the hoop normally.
That wasn't a go at yellow, that was a go at the hoop, was it?
Having lost your first ball, you'd normally take the hoop on.
Oh, okay. Right, okay. You think that's as good as... It might be as good as you ever get.
Correct.
So.
And I wouldn't have shot with blue. I don't think this is guaranteed for Dallas. I would have tried to put blue between yellow and the hoop and hoped for that sort of result if black missed yellow.
Okay. And we can't see from there whether blue can run or not, but black's going to be able to move it or something, isn't it?
Black can definitely hit yellow. Whether yellow can run, as you say, we can't quite tell from where we are. But you would normally play blue in front and then have a go at yellow with black. So very...
Who's got the advantage now at this hoop?
I have a slight preference for being red and yellow.
Okay.
The ball closer to the hoop against an Egyptian player is normally very strong. They don't like jumping. And black...
Oh, don't they?
No, they don't like jumping.
Really?
And
gosh,
black's clearance on yellow isn't easy, and I think red has blocked blue's hoop shot as well, potentially.
So black is trying to clear both of them here, is it?
In an ideal world, you want to focus on the yellow, but it's got every chance of flicking off and at least moving the red.
I suppose you hit red first, there's a chance you might actually promote yellow.
Don't think so. I think red's this side.
So she's got red.
And that's particularly bad because if yellow runs, red's been moved over to hoop 5. And it does run.
That's a legal position for red, isn't it?
Because it's come off an opponent ball. So black promoting red there makes red legal on side. And as we can see, this is easy. This is dead straight in front.
So that's 2-all, and Dallas has a slight advantage on this next hoop then.
Yeah, you want blue in position so red can't clear it.
She's interesting. It's a bit far, isn't it? Or is it? I don't know. I think
it might.
Looks a bit. Looks.
I think it's a
red.
ball and a half too far, and I would clear that.
Right on the. Just because you don't want black moving yellow any further away from blue.
Or blocking, or if red takes position, black can just clear it. There's lots of options for black. It's only got about a 5-yard clearance on red if it just takes position. So take your opportunity.
Advice there, and a good hit, isn't it?
Yeah, one of the things to note is red didn't go off the lawn. So if we get a sequence of black takes position, yellow takes position, blue can now clear the red to a boundary. Side boundary.
Oh, so it would have been better for red to be off the lawn.
It would have been a bit better, yeah.
Right.
Blue's now got choices. Blue could play in as a third ball, or it could clear red to a side boundary.
And if red had gone off on the boundary, would blue be allowed to shoot at red and move it?
No,
or it's not. If it's off the boundary, it's not. Okay.
It's almost what's called an outside agency.
Right.
You're actually allowed to pick it up and move it off the lawn until it comes back into play.
Go. Right.
So yeah, that will give blue 2 options, and I think this is why we're going to see Dallas shoot here, because blue's over red, so she's taking the immediate chance to clear black, knowing that was about an 8-yarder, and red might have a 14-yarder if she doesn't.
Right, and done it medium pace, so she stayed.
It's
yellow stayed nicely.
Really good clearance.
Yeah.
You're aiming to hit that either in the middle or fractionally off centre on the left, so you keep the south boundary side. So it's a perfect shot she's played, both from direction.
South boundary side is a bit better.
It is, yeah.
That's because no chance of the hoop getting in the way, or
it's an 11-yarder instead of a 14-yarder, and if you miss, sometimes you're on the hoop.
Right.
so you get double targets that you can get lucky at.
Right.
3 yards shorter. Lots of good reasons to be on the south side. If black clears you down
You're
there,
still near.
you're okay.
So red's put one in there.
I would
Good
expect
shot in.
black to clear red.
Okay.
We're starting to see the type of play we're going to see later on in the tournament. This is positive play. We've seen a lot of play where this third ball just goes into play, just goes straight in front of the hoop, and they just accept yellow might miss blue or only move it a little way. This is a much higher level.
Because you're assuming that yellow's going to hit what it wants.
Exactly.
Almost all the time, so you've got to be more positive about it.
Yeah.
Doing something about the one that's in there already.
Yeah, and the play after hoop 4 has been strong. This has been a good sequence of strokes.
That's very good play.
First from Dallas,
That's
hitting
another nice
twice.
Mid-pace one, isn't it? Or
But-
slightly more than mid-pace, but
It was
got the
perfect
middle of it.
pace, but didn't get the middle of it. It only hit half ball, and now
Okay.
she's lost that 8 yards away. Once you're hitting under 3/4 ball, you're losing your ball too much.
Okay, so it wasn't quite in the middle. Right.
So yeah, 3/4 ball will work fine. Centre, even better. Now black and blue have a slight edge again.
Because they're first to play in. That's another good shot.
And I think this is where Dallas needs to make a choice. Has she got a double, blue in the hoop? Is she prepared to
I would say
clear
not.
blue with yellow?
Okay.
If she fancies that clearance, she'll just play in.
Okay.
But if she's got any sort of target,
So if she thinks she's less than 50% yellow at blue, she's got to clear here.
do something. Yeah, that was another
It's a shame.
attempt at... I think she probably had a double. And now black will just play in. You want good hoop position, not offering a double clearance to yellow,
Uh-huh.
and just make sure black is in hoop running position.
So now blue and black have got a big advantage.
Yeah, huge advantage. That looks like it might be
a
wide
block,
from
mightn't
red.
it? I think that's a block. Oh, we're wide from red. Red's up this end, isn't it?
Yep.
I was wondering if black had blocked yellow at blue.
It could have done, but if it has, Dallas at least has a chance of playing the really good double clearance, which
right.
is her only chance of getting back in this other than a hoop failure. That's got
That
the
would
black in.
almost got the double, didn't it?
It was a good effort, and I was going to say yellow almost went to a position where it couldn't get to hoop 6, but I think she's okay.
Let's see how the hoop runnings.
That went too far.
That was no wire through to the boundary, isn't it?
Yeah. So a confidence builder, but one that again, if I take no wire, I want to go 4 yards past the hoop instead of 12 yards past the hoop. Red's offside. And so that was an opportunity for Garda to direct red to a penalty spot, which would have been more difficult to take position at hoop 6 from.
But she seemed to offer it and say don't bother, didn't she?
It appeared to be that way.
Yeah.
A little bit surprising. I would have said the line into hoop 6 offered a good chance to get red in position wide from blue, which would have been dreadful for Garda. As it is, it's a bit short.
I don't think that's in front, is it? I don't think red's running that.
I don't think it is. And that's black deliberately played on the far side of the hoop. So red can't stop it away and stay in position.
Right, okay.
And I think we'll see blue play back into position here, between yellow and the hoop. Just a seagull, squawking. The pace looks good.
She likes it.
Just a
Just
fraction
drifted
too
on.
far. And here I always clear the blue. So it's red to play. The natural order is to clear black, but every time you get the opportunity to clear the ball that's just played, take it. So red clearing blue in the middle will generate a massive advantage at the hoop.
Because you've got blue out the game and red is still would be nicely in there.
Yeah. Now, what the reason she's played that is she's happy to take the hoop on with yellow.
Yeah.
I don't think yellow's quite close enough to justify that line of play. She's
Right.
played it very well, and she's got the block, so black can't hit yellow because blue's in the way. I just think yellow's hoop's a bit too long, and I'm putting myself under too much pressure.
Right. So you're thinking you're less than 50-50 on this hoop, so...
If I was Dallas, I'd be thinking that.
Yeah.
Not a great shot with black. Even if you don't get the block, you hope you're in position. Oh, lovely. No wire
That's
at all.
2 hoops in a row with no wire, isn't it?
And
between the pair of them. Well, that's
it's-
3 all. This is excellent.
And it's been a higher quality match this than many of the ones we've been watching. Both in
It's
terms
a good
of
standard, isn't it?
physical
Yeah.
execution and tactical choices. Much more aggressive, much more shooty. Dallas there took a very positive line of...
This has got to be a shot, hasn't it? Or not?
It doesn't. Yellow can
Yellow
see
can
blue,
shoot.
so you can just take position. Had red been at hoop 6 instead of 4 yards past it, I think she'd have shot at it. But I would always play in there. Yellow's got a perfectly clear shot at blue, and it's a good shot from Dallas. Taking position without blocking yellow's shot. Excellent. Black's trying to block the shot,
Just tried to go for the block there, hasn't she? Not quite.
but it's got the second prize. It's in front
It's
of
in
the
front.
hoop.
That's got a bit of it. That's good.
So yeah, just a reminder, it is 3-all. And Damon Bidencote very kindly asking about a comeback. Well, I've got a walking stick for the last 2 days, Damon, so actually walking is the first step forward. Nice clearance in the middle.
It's got lovely in the middle, hasn't it?
Black's in position, and blue, to be fair, is in a runnable position still, isn't it? So
It's looking pretty good, isn't it?
strong position. Red really has to shoot here. But I think the one weakness we've seen so far from Garda is that hoop shot she failed at
running
hoop
isn't-
3,
hoop
wasn't
running
it?
is not great. It seems to be the ones where you're trying to... Ooh.
Now, is this open? Looks like it is.
That's why she's trying to hit a little bit harder, isn't it? She's not so good at the hoops.
Yeah.
Which is understandable, isn't it?
Oh, that's a
no,
good
that's
shot.
That is good.
Yeah, getting that to the peg was a good shot. It was slightly angled and longish. So 4-3 now to Garda. Matt Essick, our GC World Champion,
Oh, yes.
asking for an update on Bev Cardo against Diana Wilson. Now the bad news, Matt, is it's on lawn 9, which is about as far away as we can get, but I'll ask Phil to just have a look round and see if he can see any clips. I know last time I saw it, Diana was 3-2 up in the first, but that was a good 30-40 minutes ago.
I can tell you that this is yellow clip on the peg.
So yellow on the peg is
Yellow is
Diana. So game up to Diana is
we think.
the current position, we think. Excellent shot in the meantime by Dallas. That
I
yellow's
think she's won the first hoop and the second and on hoop 2.
okay. So game up and 1-0 up to Diana, we believe. Excellent shot from yellow, and red will be trying to block black's shot at yellow, It's a bit wide. Quite a long stalk, taking her time over this. That missed. You could see on the follow through that it was going to miss left.
It was a bit of the one where the hook of the action took it that way, didn't it?
Yeah.
Slightly mistimed, I guess.
It's quite risky. Now I should mention here that there's a risk involved with Dallas. You don't want to run this off the boundary, and she's done very well not to. So the danger, it's 4-all now, is blue takes good position.
Oh, and black can block you.
And black, if you're right next to it on the boundary, could block you having any shot whatsoever. So Dallas has done very well to run it short of the boundary. I know black can probably clear it up towards us near corner 2, but I don't think it will take that option.
It'll just play in.
It will play in, particularly now blue hasn't got good
position.
position. And red should be deep and straight. I think that's just under hit as well. Another chance to get a good ball in position. This looks better. Yeah, decent effort. And if Dallas hasn't gone deep enough with red, blue might be able to cut it back to where Dallas is playing with yellow.
It does look like blue cleared red up there, doesn't it? And that's... wow.
So that's not good position with yellow. And we're going to see this clearance back to where Dallas is standing, I think. So not deep enough with the red there. Lovely stun clearance.
That's really good, isn't it? Blue stayed in there.
Really good shot. And I think we're in a position where even if black only jaws is here, red and yellow are going to be in trouble.
So the pattern so far is that we've had blue and black winning the odd numbers and red and yellow winning the even numbered hoops, haven't we?
Yeah, and some good play.
And the odd numbered hoops have been won fairly quickly, and the even numbered hoops have had quite a good tussle on them.
Yeah, and I think you'd probably argue...
And it's been a good standard by both players, hasn't it?
Yeah. Apart from hoop 5, Garda hasn't run the odd ones far enough.
Yeah.
So big shot here. Hoop 9 so important in these games. Struck it well. Oh, got everything now. That's a good result.
That is a good result, isn't it?
She's well back in it now. The positive thing from Garda's point of view is how good this blue is, controlling an area of the lawn. But you can't take really good position with black now, because yellow will just stun clear it.
Right. So you've got to go a bit deeper or a bit wider or something.
Yeah, she'll probably err on deep and on the side of the hoop opposite to yellow.
Away from yellow. She's gone very deep, hasn't she?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Yellow can play in tight to the hoop, trying to block the hoop shot, but as tight as you dare.
Is that good enough?
It's not good enough for blue, and I think black will think it can clear it. So I think blue will take position, and red will be forced to clear blue if it can see it, on the principle that
yellow's going to be a long way away from blue.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you need to move blue here, or nudge yellow. So she's gone for nudging yellow.
Ooh,
that's good.
That's worked out well, is it?
Yeah, red's in position. Things can go wrong with this clearance now. If you hit it on the right,
it's black to play, isn't it?
Black to play. So if black hits yellow on the right, it's going to clear blue. If it hits in the middle, it might clear blue. It might rush peel it. And if it hits it on the left, it might flick and just move the blue as well. So if yellow is blocked by blue from running the hoop, I think the shot is to clear red.
Right.
But the amount of time she's spending on this, I'm tempted to say the hoop's open and she's going for the hoop. Can yellow run is the big question. We can't see that from here. Looks like red or the hoop. Oh, what a fantastic shot.
Oh, what a hoop that is.
Yeah. Oh, almost got 10 as well.
Almost a double.
That's just bounced about 6 inches to the left of 10. And this has been a really good game,
hoop, wasn't it?
And I love the positivity in it.
Yeah, she wasn't mucking about there. She said, I'm in front of the hoop, wasn't she? So
I play yellow out wide here, towards the east boundary, maybe 2 yards east of hoop 10. I don't want
a bit more length than that, do you?
Oh, that's horrible. That is just black has a clearance back down the lawn.
Right.
Just play east. Mates say, look, black
so
can
use
clear
the
me.
boundaries as the protection there.
Exactly, Phil, yeah. If blue can just take good position now, black is all over that yellow, and this is short.
So that's not a great position, is it? Because it's not up there, but it's a little applause from the crowd.
Equally importantly, I like it at least just past yellow, so I can't clear yellow into blue. Yeah, you can imagine a shot, you get a bit unlucky, black clears yellow into blue, and equally same with red. Red needs to be past everything. So yeah, 2 weaker shots. I think we mentioned in the commentary, playing up to 13 was uphill. Well,
oh yes.
Same with playing up to 10.
10.
Went for a controlled clearance there. I don't know whether blue's got a backswing.
It does look like it's stymied by the red, doesn't it?
And if it's stymied by the red, red and yellow have the advantage here.
So if it is, then yellow's playing inside blue to get nice tight position.
Exactly, yeah.
Where blue can't get at it, hopefully.
That's right.
And that looks like she's gone for it.
This looks much better to me. Much better shot.
And
that's excellent.
That looks pretty good, doesn't
really
it?
Good. So probably stun red away, and black has to hit yellow. But definite advantage Dallas, although obviously she is 5-4 down.
So this is just get another one in there just in case.
Yeah, another one in there. It wants to be in hoop running position, and you want to either cover black at yellow, black at the hoop. They're sort of things in your background as well as a second bonus. That's got a chance. That's close to blocking black at yellow.
It's blocking some of yellow, I think, isn't it? Not the left-hand side, but it's getting a little bit in the way.
Whether or not it's impeded Dallas's own swing on the hoop, I'm not sure.
She's having to come down to have a look at it, isn't she?
There you go. This is
a hoop attempt.
This is a hoop attempt, yeah. So that's indicating red is in the way.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, I think pretty sure she would clear yellow if red wasn't in the way. So
unless she thinks that red is blocking too much of yellow.
Correct, yeah.
And then you would have a go at the hoop, would you?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I suppose it was shorter than this one she ran at the hoop before, wasn't it? But
and some people might ask, why doesn't she just play onside and give up? And imagine she plays onside. Yellow could just clear.
and get itself onside for the next hoop.
Yeah, and it's not putting it.
It's got the hoops.
You're
unlucky.
That's going to be your best hoop chance as black and blue.
Right.
So take it.
So this is for I5 all to continue the pattern, isn't it, of alternate hoops?
Yep. I've been mentioning all tournament about players not stalking, and we're seeing these two have 15-yard stalks at times.
I'm going to say this is the first game I've seen. I've been here Monday and today where I've actually seen players do what I would call like an AC stalk.
Yeah.
Where you do,
Yeah.
and mostly, I guess, is it just because people do so much shooting that people get lazy, or is it because they get so in the groove that they don't actually need a stalk?
Well, everyone needs a stalk. I think we'll see blue clear red here. You don't want to follow through and knock yellow through the hoop. It's a danger. Played it well. And again, I think we'll see red clear black, because it's got a little bit poking out for black to clear at the moment. Any hit in the middle or on the left hand side
will just get it, so it's very hard to clear.
Yeah.
So it is just people being a bit lazy, not stalking then.
I think so.
Yeah, because they have both been giving it a decent stalk, haven't they? All their shots.
This is a perfectly legitimate option, taking wide position from blue. If black clears yellow, we know black's coming all the way over to us. So it's going to be miles away. If blue can't hit red...
And you don't know whether yellow even get that far away from the hoop, do you?
Yeah.
Depending exactly how you hit it.
Yeah, did well, got it out. And the other thing to note about that is black's onside.
Right.
So quite handy were red to run the hoop later on, to be able to approach hoop 11 from straight in front of it. And I'd be tempted to have a go straight away here.
With the yellow, just have a go, try and run the hoop.
Yeah. It's a legitimate shot if red is wide from blue. Yellow could just play onside.
Okay, and say I'm bound to get the hoop unless you have a miracle shot.
Yeah. But if it isn't, I want to have a go straight away. Red's in quite good position for 11. It's only 7 yards away. Nothing wrong with jaws.
She's disappointed, but it looks... It's alright, isn't it? So blue... What's blue trying to do here?
I'm going to try and clear yellow.
Clear yellow rather than red. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to go max power at this. I'm hoping for a result where yellow goes off the south boundary and blue finishes not far away from 11.
Okay, so to make, you kind of saying, well, red might get the hoop, but I've got the two best balls for the next two.
Yeah, I'm happy to allow Dallas to score the point if I'm strong favourite at 11.
Because if I'm strong favourite for 11, I'm probably favourite for 12, and that's my win, isn't it?
Yeah.
So she's
so that's
close, but
slightly weaker one, and now there's lots of tactical options.
Oh.
So red shouldn't peel yellow because black's onside.
Right. Okay. So that was what I'd have done is wrong.
So that's 100% wrong. What it can do is it could just go onside. That's a very neutral line of play. Onside. It could play just to the eastern side of the hoop.
So peel next go.
Peel next go.
And then because you would peel getting the hoop, then it's onside.
It's onside because you scored a point in that shot. That isn't doing enough with red, in my opinion. Although very interestingly, yellow does have a rush on red, which I don't think was guaranteed. So remember, black's onside, so it's just going to take good position. Yellow can rush red. I think it's a 3/4 ball or half ball contact.
And that's probably alright because you're shooting at the middle of it, so yellow will stay near the hoop. It's not as though you're losing yellow out the hoop completely, is it?
If you play the rush, it's all out about getting red in front and running the hoop with red before black plays again.
Otherwise
if you don't get red in position, you're in generally a weak position.
She's gone for it.
Underhit it, but she is going to get the first hoop shot.
Those rushes usually... It is easy to underhit those rushes, isn't it?
It is. And blue should just play in. Blue shouldn't worry about clearing red. Play in and say, if you fail the hoop, I'm a massive favourite. But Dallas, to be fair, having run hoop 10, will have taken this position. If she gets first go at 11 from 3.5 yards, almost straight,
She's happy.
it's not bad. It's
Right.
not bad. The
And
alternative
she's definitely not thinking of red moving black. You want to have a go at the hoop.
I always want to have a go at the hoop here. The only time you might consider not doing is if blue shoots at red and misses. But even then I'm going to take the hoop on.
Why does blue shooting at red and missing change your
Because
view?
Garda wouldn't have 2 balls in front anymore.
Oh, okay. So she's no longer super strong favourite.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. And if you want to discourage the hoop shot, if you think Dallas is going to run the hoop shot, the best way of doing it is shooting at red.
Right, which she's done.
And she's just narrowly missed.
And it
So-
was close.
I still want the hoop shot, but taking black out isn't wrong. If you hit black in the middle and keep red within 3 or 4 yards of the hoop, your favourite.
Right.
Yellow will play in, and then red will control the entire area, and Garda will end up having to hit a clearance from the north boundary with you sat in front of 11.
What's she going for? She's going for black, isn't she?
Yeah.
You want the middle of this, don't you? To really stun in there. Dear,
And
that's bad.
That's bad. Yeah, you're quite right. Black will play in, and yellow will be forced to clear it immediately. Not necessarily the wrong shot. I like being positive. That I play very conservatively for the first 6 hoops, and by the time I get to hoop 9, it's completely the opposite. I'm really very aggressive. I want
Right.
to take the game in my own control, and I want to run that 3-yard hoop and go, I'm on top of you now.
Right.
But having lost the red with the non-central takeout, she now needs. That's a good shot.
That's got the middle.
Don't
well,
get
not
on the
middle,
hoop.
but it's pretty.
Yeah, that's okay. So she stayed within 7 yards of 11, and it'll give her time to get red
so
back in.
She's still fighting. This hoop's still a close one, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah. Really good hoop position. Starts putting pressure on your opponent. That's a nice shot. Red should play inside blue now.
Not clear it, just
No,
inside
it's
because
too far
leaving,
away.
You're leaving yellow as near a ball
Yeah,
to
yellow-
do that job.
Yeah, and ideally that is
Ooh,
perfect
That's pretty good, isn't it?
because black can't
Black can't
dare
clear you.
dare clear anymore. It risks taking partner out. So this will try and get between red and the hoop, and then yellow will go power clearance blue. It's a big shot.
And you do have to clear that, and they're not so close that you can't get much distance with red here. If they were closer, so that blue was not going to be able to clear red very far. I guess it can clear quite a long way though, really, can't it?
It can.
But if
Yep.
it was a bit closer, so you couldn't really get much clearance on it, would you would then be just playing one in, would you? Rather than
No, I wouldn't.
you'd still want to clear it.
This is a fantastic opportunity to
With
clear
red.
blue.
And red to yeah. Okay.
Red is not blocked on the hoop by black. That is from my angle. It's clearly open.
So if you can get the middle of this, you're leaving blue quite a long shot, really, aren't you?
Yeah. I've gone for black. That's interesting. I don't like that because I think this stop is fairly straightforward. Dallas did play that shot incredibly well.
Yeah.
To hit it and keep yellow within control of the hoop is going to give her quite a big advantage here.
Right.
I don't want blue to finish close to yellow here. Oh, that's too close to yellow. Oh, this is not good.
You think red and yellow doing well here?
Yeah, so red can take position here and black has to clear it. Otherwise yellow's going to be on the boundary.
Yeah.
Sorry, yellow's going to move blue to the boundary.
Blue to the boundary because it's got the pointing in the right direction, hasn't it, there?
Yeah, this is just a straightforward positional shot from a good angle.
Stop.
That's a bit hard. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that closer. If that had been half the distance, black had to shoot it at.
But it's no longer absolutely guaranteed the hoop, is it?
No.
It's not a trivial hoop, and it's certainly not trivial to run that all the way down to 12.
I think Garda's decision will be changed. I think she may well now play in between red and the hoop. Whereas before I was confident she was going to feel forced to shoot at the red. This is a very interesting line of play.
Oh, she's not going for... Is she going to clear yellow here?
Well, I'm looking at clearing blue.
Oh, you think she was trying to chip blue into position?
I just think moving blue north of red is very playable. As it is, the miss gives Dallas choices. If black had been in position, she would definitely have just cleared blue. Now she can opt to be the first person with 2 balls in front of the hoop.
So she could play a nice tight one in here.
Yep, except that blue will clear
one of them.
But say black has to clear the other one. So this is very aggressive.
So she's basically saying here, I think I'm going to run that hoop with red. She's got a good thump on that. That's got the boundary.
I'd have played, again, probably at this standard, I think I want a ball inside red. Because force black to hit after blue hits.
So you're saying here you would be lagging blue inside red? Is that what you just said? Or
I wasn't what I said, but yes,
right.
Yes is the answer to your question. I am lagging in here. My best chance of winning this is red failing the hoop.
Oh, it was the previous shot you were talking about?
Yeah,
right,
she's missed.
She's had a thump at red and missed that by a reasonable distance there, actually, wasn't it? We were bang on the line.
Yeah, started off about 2.5 balls off, got a bit closer.
So this is when you were talking about the mental side, isn't it, really?
It is.
Because it's all... We're bang level, aren't we? And I think this is down to who's going to hold it together.
Yeah. And this is for Dallas's first lead in the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's a big shot.
Long psych up on this, isn't she?
And you're just hoping if you miss it, you finish in the jaws, and it hasn't.
Spat out, hasn't it? Around the
has.
corner. I think she got both wires, so it wasn't far off.
Yeah. Again, standard Egyptian play, straight and deep. Accepting that black's going to get cleared by red eventually, but only to a short boundary. And if Dallas can put a really good yellow in front of the hoop here, she's still in good position. That's an excellent shot. Well played. Good. You're always worried about blocking black at red. Sorry, red at black. So we'll try and answer some of the questions that come through at the end of this game, because this has been enthralling from my point of view.
It's been an excellent game, hasn't it?
So Garda knows that black's going to get cleared to the boundary, and the whole concept of the line of play has been to get blue in position and allow black a power clearance on yellow. And apart from the fact that blue isn't in as good position as she would like, this has all gone to plan. So now we've got the big shot, and my question is it a double target? hoop
with
and
the
ball.
hoop.
Yeah.
Right. And if it is, you going for the middle or you're going for the ball?
I always aim at the one on the left because I
you
miss on the right.
Okay. So you are basically going for the ball then, aren't you? And just,
In this case, I would go for the ball. No,
miss both,
through the middle.
Through the middle of both there.
And now this is a lot easier than the last one.
So it's paid off for Dallas at the moment. And I noticed Garda was getting a little pep talk from one of the other Egyptian players. So
It's not unusual. It shouldn't happen.
Oh, shouldn't it?
No.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cross her up there. But so even if it's not advice, we're not supposed to have any chat.
I think, cheering people on is all well and good, but basically going and talking to someone, that's not really what you're meant to do, whether it's mental advice or tactical advice or anything. You go and shout, come on, you're good shot, or brav, or so anyway, 6-5 to Dallas.
And that yellow, she went for...
No.
it's finished better than it might have done, I think, hitting the peg.
Could have been worse.
And Dallas made absolutely sure of the hoop, didn't she? She chose not to try and get it up to 12.
And she knows now she should get first play at 13 as a worst result.
Right. And that...
A little bit close to blue, in my liking.
You want a bit nearer the hoop than that?
I do. And now can black play a good positional shot?
Is that going to curve inside? It's curved the other way. So
that's okay.
That's all right.
Yeah.
It's in front, isn't it?
Now,
what's yellow doing here? Just putting another one in?
From my perspective, given how positive Dallas has played, yellow shoots at blue.
Okay. And say, I assume that red has a shot at the hoop there and it's not stymied by black.
I think so.
Just take on blue and say, I'm going to try and make the shot at red a bit longer and that's my winner.
Assuming that red can run. Yeah. Because otherwise I think you're going to be on the south boundary with red, shooting back at black.
Right.
With nothing
black's
in front.
Going to stop in front, but she's going... Is she lagging? Yeah, she's putting one in there, so...
Again, not very close.
Oh yes, sorry, I got confused. Yeah, blue's clearing red, isn't it? And then red's got to clear black.
Not quite. Again, once you're hitting things quarter ball, third ball, if you can put a bit more power on them and get that red off the lawn, it's big advantage. Dallas hitting this 8-yarder is completely different percentage to hitting a 14-yarder.
Because she's, the way she's been shooting this game, at least 80%, I'd have thought. She's been shooting, they've shot well, haven't they, both of them, at this length?
Yeah. Oh, in the middle.
It's in the middle.
That's a super shot.
Good shot, isn't it?
And now you've got to make a real decision. Most people shoot at yellow.
Because that's the match winner, isn't it?
It is.
That yellow one.
And that's what she's doing.
It's deepish, isn't it? But yeah, she's taking it on.
I think this is right. Even if you play in, red's still got such control over the black for a future clearance. I want to take this out. Good pace. Missed it.
Just missed it.
Now, everyone at home is thinking yellow's going to run the hoop and win. And I'm going to say, well...
You're going to nudge it a bit closer, are you?
I think there's a completely legitimate line of play of playing yellow into position, wide from blue.
So she's gone to check where blue is to have a look at that, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Alice?
Because if yellow fails the hoop and bounces onto a wire or to the side, the hoop is comparatively neutral again.
And if you've got yellow a foot in dead straight in front or wide from blue,
Yeah.
you're 90% on it or something.
I think she's also looking at the hoop for wire. Can
Oh.
she get wired from both balls? And that's a winner.
Oh, that would be that.
Blue would have to run hoop 5 and hit her. If she can get the double wire,
That would be the equivalent of the AC crosswire leading the 30-yarder, isn't it?
Yeah.
That looked a little bit short.
short,
of the,
I think.
Of the,
I
of the
think black is definitely open. Blue's going to play back in. And now the safe option,
Well, she was going for through the hoop there, wasn't she? Do you think?
maybe. Had blue taken position, red could just have cleared it.
So this is just red in as the backup,
That's the backup ball.
quite deep backup, but well away from yellow.
So it's looking at the wire. It's clearly close.
It's close, isn't it?
Dallas has done very well.
That was a good spot by, wasn't it?
Excellent spot.
And it's gone gently, so it must have been more or less wide to go in there gently, mustn't it?
And that's how to win a game of golf croquet without playing the difficult shot, which
That
I
was
said
very
earlier.
good tactics, wasn't
Very
it?
good. I haven't given her this hoop yet, but if she runs it, I think both players have put together a really good playoff game.
Oh, it's been excellent, hasn't it? It's been much the best game I've seen in the 2 days I've been here.
Well
Done it. That's
well done, Dallas.
Outstanding game. Well played.
Great comeback after a dodgy start.
Yeah.
So
Oh, it's a really good game, wasn't it?
I enjoyed it. Lots of
Very good, very
interesting.
good standard and good. There was good little tactics in that. So
Yeah.
it's very good to have you explaining what's going on.
It's a good game. Just had a couple of questions. We had one from Brian Lozano about how's Mexico's Vanessa getting on the lawn. So she's directly behind me. I think she's game down. But it's fantastic to see, Mexican women playing in this event.
4-3 up in the second, I think. I think she's 4-3 up.
4-3 up in the second. Thanks, Phil. But yeah, great to see more countries taking part. And I remember, the days when countries like Spain were playing for the first time, and now they've got thousands of players playing at a very high level.
Really?
Absolutely, yeah. It's so popular that many of the clubs, because they're often at golf clubs in Spain, and they've got 2 lawns. And they've got so many people that it's difficult to get a competitive game. So the tournaments are all oversubscribed.
Oh, right.
And people can't get their rankings correct fast enough because they can't get to play enough tournaments.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's a wonderful position to be in. And yeah, hopefully more multi-lawn clubs will start being built in Spain. And the golf clubs that suddenly say, look, we've got 200 croquet players here on 2 lawns, will go, let's build another 2.
Take a hole out the golf course.
So yeah, great to see Vanessa here. And Steve was asked, are there more cutthroat games today? And I'm pretty confident the answer is yes. Jessica Bullen is playing Perihan on lawn 4. And just let Vanessa play.
She's got to win 2 games, hasn't she, to get through?
Absolutely. Yeah, so she starts game down against Perihan and needs to win 2-0. So that's a game going on lawn 4. Meanwhile, on lawn 1,
Who are we going to get?
is this Bev Cardo? And if so, what does that mean in terms of the Diana Wilson position? So we'll just do a bit of catching up and try and work out what other playoffs are available. But I know that there are a few blocks which have playoffs.
Is this game on lawn 2 a playoff? So
Okay.
Reeves against somebody.
So we've just been told that we're going to stop this streaming on the 3rd session, and we'll be back shortly.
Okay.
And Andrew Hobbs is going to join us, and in the meantime we'll try and catch up on what's actually going on elsewhere. So thanks, Phil.
Right. Yeah, thanks, Chris. So does it have the ordered play on there, or does it only have? It's only got the.
So Diana's still in play up there.
Oh, they're up on that Yeah, and some of these games are finishing off the blocks, aren't they? So it's a.
So this is
Are you restarting the stream?
Sylvia v Kate, yeah?
Yes. I was going to, but they've already started. So no, I'll let it go on.
No,
Okay.
no, they're just practicing.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, having a warm up.
I'm going to start a new stream. Sorry, folks.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So we've got Sylvia Short from South Africa against Kate McLaughlin from Australia, which I think means that Kathy Brown from Scotland's been eliminated, because these 3 players are playing for one
yes.
place.
They were over there, weren't they? Kathy and it's playing somebody. So right. So if it's 3 for 1 is a semi-final and a final. The semi-final, if you lose, you're out.
And then the
And then the
winner's going to
final's best
go
of
in
3.
1 up
On the best.
in a best of 3.
Thank you everyone for listening. We're going to be back on the 3rd session very shortly, ready for the next playoff game. See you soon.